Hey everyone, happy Halloween! Well, not quite happy Halloween yet. We're still a couple of weeks away. But since we are in the month of that holiday, we are going to do another movie marathon podcast. This time we're going to focus on...
Horror movie marathon podcast.
What did I say?
Just movie.
Oh. We're going to do Saw. I still don't know why we chose this. I guess because there has been a Saw movie every Halloween for a period of time for like... 6 years.
There hasn't been one for 7 years.
There hasn't been one for a long time, but like from like 2004 to 2010 or something like that, Saw came out every Halloween. I never watched any of them. I remember, but you knew it was October because there were Saw posters with the fluorescent lighted severed foots or toes or shit that doesn't seem like it has anything to do with the movie, which is kind of weird. But
what you're trying to say is that there was a bunch of Saw movies,
and
there hasn't been a Saw movie for a while, and now there's going to be a new Saw movie. New one,
and we had access to these.
Sorry, no. There's not going to be a Saw movie. It's going to be a Jigsaw movie.
Kyle, let me ask you something.
You can ask me something. What?
When Halloween comes, like the Halloween season, and people get excited that actually like horror movies and like Halloween and stuff, and so since it's Halloween, you naturally want to watch some scary movies. You go revisit some horror classics, or maybe watch some good horror movies you hadn't seen yet, or movies you've heard are good, or stuff like that. Does that sound about right to you?
I'm gonna say everyone agrees with you. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So instead of doing that this October, like I would have liked to do, instead we watched 7 Saw films.
Movies that neither of us had ever seen.
Yes.
I'd
seen the first one. I saw the first one in theaters when it came out.
Okay, I saw part of the first one and then none of them. And about a year ago, for some reason, probably last Halloween, I don't know why, I just decided I wanted to read the plot synopsis on Wikipedia for all the Saw movies because I'm interested in what happened in those, but I didn't watch them. And then bought the Blu-ray set a long time ago because we were going to do this like probably last year. We were going to do one of these podcasts for this, and we never got around to it. So now we finally got around to it. We watched 7 Saw movies, and now we're going to talk about them.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate.
We're going to answer some questions from some people that have asked us, and that'll be at the end. So
fast forward 3 hours. And,
yeah.
No, hopefully not that long. Ugh.
Okay, 7 movies, and there's a lot of plot. Like you said, none of it really matters, but for these movies, for what they are, there is a lot of plot, actually.
I would say that if you had to name 3 of the most remarkable things or just things worth commenting or noting about the Saw franchise, one of them would be how many of them were and how much money it made, which I'm grouping together. Like there's a lot of them and they were very profitable.
Yeah.
Also that they are probably the centerpiece of what people think of when they say torture porn. I at least from my perspective.
I'll say Hostel is the torture porn.
I think that's
king.
the other big one, but I feel like this is still the most mainstream thing when you bring this up.
Yeah.
And I would say the third thing is surprisingly, like the most unreal thing that these movies do is how this insanely convoluted plot that continues. I could say like there are some film franchises that, where the sequel picks up where the last one left off, right? But that's not really doing it justice. Those movies they still have like a resolution and they end, and then like the next movie picks it up and it's kind of fun, but like the next movie will have a completely different plot. That's not what this is. It's one plot spread out amongst 7 films.
I would say kind of, but not really. I would say one.
But that's
plot.
not actually what happened, because that makes it sound like they planned it from the beginning, which is not what happened.
Well,
but that's what they want you to think.
Yeah,
what happened.
I will say that I would say one plot has been spread out across like 6 movies at least, or 5 or 6, where they're very, very, very interconnected, and then like the bookends are kind of like part of that. But there is a long time in the middle of this series where it's just you're watching a movie that took place during the movie I just watched. Here's what was happening on the side, and the next one's like, here what was happening on another side. And anyways, yeah.
If you go to the Wikipedia page for the Saw franchise, most people, hey, you've gone to a Wikipedia page, you know what one looks like. And, traditionally for a movie franchise, you have like the summary, you have the plot synopsis, you have behind the scenes, production history, you have the cast, right? And then you'll have like all the different movies broken down by like year, maybe how much money they made. One thing that's very specific to the Saw franchise Wikipedia page is I don't know what I call it, a diagram, a visual, a visual with all the characters showing an overlap of where they've appeared in which films. Because
like a matrix chart.
Yeah.
Not like a Venn diagram.
Because even if a character died in the first film, actually I was going to say the second or third, but in the first film, that doesn't mean
they find a way to put them in 2 and 3 still.
Yes,
yeah.
which makes these actors happy. They get to keep working to come back, and we need to shoot a flashback scene for you. Okay, so we'll talk about more about that as we go.
Yeah, we're almost 6 minutes in. Yeah. We need to start talking about the movies. Also, prepare for lots of Saw puns if we got them.
Yes.
So on the whole, this franchise has been extremely successful. I don't know if it's a $1 billion franchise yet, but it feels
fifth most profitable after things like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. I don't know what the other ones are.
I would be surprised if this hasn't made the most.
Well, according to Wikipedia, anyways, it was like the fifth.
But
shit, that's good.
I mean, and that assumes that they're popular. I mean, or that people like them. They're not just making money because they
they're
suck.
certainly popular. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know what Saw
What I mean is that they like them. They must enjoy them enough to make money. So with this review, summary, big podcast discussion, I'm going to say we're going to go against the grain a little bit with that.
I guess. I mean, just because things are...
That was a pun. That was a...
Why is it against the grain?
Like you were sawing against the grain.
We're gonna make them a little better than that.
No, because I think
I'll go ahead and burn. I'll go ahead and burn this one now and say that pun was awful.
Well,
there.
I have some more that I'm not going to use yet. But no, what I mean is we're going to have some things to say about these. So let's get into Saw. Numero uno. Saw 2004 directed by James Wan, written by a guy's name that I can't. Lay Whannell.
Well, they're Australian, so if you say it with an Australian accent, I think they are. I think they said they went to. Well, maybe they just went to film school in Australia.
Some of the guys made the newest one.
No, the James Wan and that other dude, because they went to film school together.
Oh, either way, the writer, he wrote the first 3 Saws, and then he proceeded to write like the Insidious movies.
Yeah.
He's also the guy who plays Adam in the first movie. So you realize, oh, no wonder he's not a very good actor.
The guy who's, when he has the most fun, lubricant is involved.
Yeah.
I think that was his line.
All right, let's get into it. There's a lot of notes, a lot of things to talk about.
First Saw came out in 2004.
I just had that, yeah.
I just like to talk like this sometimes.
So they wake up in a dark room and you see a key go down a drain.
Okay, I have a note on my phone, and I think you paid attention to this movie more than I did, so I'll ask you. Was that just supposed to be like ironic that was the key that would have helped them, and because he was unconscious and woke up and pulled the plug out?
I don't really know.
Because
it was kind of set up to make it. Okay, in the world of Saw, everything is planned, right?
There's not a scene that I just forgot about where they suck it back up out of the pipe, or like the key lands somewhere and like in a sewer in movie 4, and it turns out that key is
at the end of it though, I mean, of course, spoilers because we're going to talk about the whole series. He goes, "Oh, the key was in the bathtub." But it went down the drain.
Oh, it went down the drain.
It almost made it seem like, all you got to do is turn around and get the key out of the bath, like as if the key was attached to like a light.
Yeah.
And I imagined it was like a thing where it wouldn't go down the pipe, like it would have gone down, or it would have like a catch. It would have fallen in the drain, but not gone down.
If you looked down, you could have seen the light.
Something like that, but I guess not. I guess he just
okay. So I'm not
him.
Crazy. It's an interesting visual, and it kind of seems like it's right in your face.
But
like, remember this, or this is important, and then it's not.
But then it breaks the entire rules of this entire.
Because it's kind of some. Wait, I'm just gonna go ahead and deal with this right now. We keep calling these things traps. What is a trap technically? Because I'll tell you what I think of when I hear the word trap.
I mean, I'll tell you the one thing that this series is missing is like a Gucci Mane or like a 2 Chainz, because these are all trap houses.
There we go. That's okay. Wasn't Savo. That's better. No, you know what I mean? Like a bear.
No one was selling crack in these movies. Well, actually, no. Someone was a drug dealer at one point. So
there's a lot of drug dealers. This is Jigsaw's a Republican.
So there is one drug dealer in a trap house. So okay, it's legit. All right. What are you saying? What?
I'm saying a trap is something that is laid to trap something. Is it not?
Yes.
Most of these things are not actually traps.
I would agree.
Okay. I just feel like everybody...
It needs a different name.
Everybody uses the word trap, and they're not traps. That's all.
Right.
So the reason I brought that up is because I was going to say in some of his other traps, often somebody wakes up and they unknowingly pull a string or they try to get up out of their chair.
Right.
And that's what sets off the
timer.
The
or
timer,
whatever.
right? Like it's always just there supposed to be ironically, like if they just sat still, they wouldn't, they would be okay. So maybe this is one of the things like, oh, you dumb asshole. If you hadn't
woken up drowning,
gotten up out of the tub so quickly, you would have had the key. Anyway, all right. Well, that's how we're starting.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to talk about the series as a whole sometimes within one movie because there's
it
so
is
many
all one movie, so it that's.
But there's a lot of reverberations for the whole series within each movie, especially like as you watch them all, and then you go back and notice things in the earlier ones. You're like, well, that contradicts that, and that's a retcon, and things like that happen. So, yeah. So our main character is Robin Hood.
Carrie Elways.
Robin Hood from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Or the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the stepdad in Liar Liar.
I think more people know him from Princess Bride, but...
I would say so, but I've actually never seen Princess Bride. I know everyone talks about it, but I haven't seen it.
You killed my father.
But his voice is really weird in this movie. It almost sounds like really bad ADR. Like he has a different voice, and also sometimes it doesn't sound right. Like they recorded him off camera, and just whatever.
Didn't catch that.
The dialogue is bad.
Oh yeah,
it's also spoken bad.
Yes.
I don't think any character in this entire series is likable.
No.
Every one of them is annoying.
No. Wait. Hold on. Nope. Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, you get. There can be a lot of complaints of. You hear a lot of.
Yeah.
No. Like you get the.
I feel like I need to do a disclaimer for the people who actually like these movies first, so nobody gets like their they don't raise their hackles too high when they listen. I mean, I get the appeal, and I guess we'll talk about that. But
okay, let me put it this way.
I'm just saying I don't like these. So
these are
fun of them.
Poorly made movies from technical standpoints. A lot of the times, there is something to them that makes them enjoyable, but there's also. Like half of it is enjoyable, and half of it's like I look forward to. By the time I was in like number 4, I'm like I really want to hurry up and watch 5, 6, and 7 because I want to see where this goes. But at the same time, half of that is like this is really bad.
This is how I justified to myself. I said I love Jaws, right? Jaws
we all know that.
It's the king of shark movies. It is the shark movie, but I will watch much lesser bad sharksploitation films because I like that kind of a movie so much. I'll be happy to watch, shittier versions of it, right? So if somebody like really loved 7, and not just that, because I love 7, but they really love the serial killer and how he, they really love the whole idea of a mastermind serial killer putting people in torturous situations and stuff, because that's what this is. Somebody watched 7 and said, I'm going to try to do that, but not as good, and spread it out over 7 movies.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit. You have your mastermind serial killer with a philosophical agenda, who does things like literally in 7, like I'm going to cut your nose off because you're a supermodel. Here's some pills. Here's a phone. You decide. Either kill yourself and you're going to be, ugly, or call the cops and you'll say, or you know what I mean, or kill yourself.
Yeah.
Or the lawyer, like, tell you what, if you cut a pound of your own flesh off your body, I'll let you live. If you put this dildo on and fuck this hooker to death, I won't kill you. Like there's this, it's the same fucking thing. There's the SWAT guys coming in, and they find the fucked up lair of the guy's victim. And then at the end, holy shit, the whole picture is seen, like he planned this all along. He is envy, and Brad Pitt is wrath, and holy shit, the head in the box. And you could take the, that'd be fun to do. I might just do it. Take the dun 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 dun, and just start playing that over the scene at the end of 7. Where you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So saying that's my like analogy. Like if somebody was really into that, okay, fine. So like here's over here these really like not as good like kind of pale imitator versions of that, I guess.
I'm just gonna go with
you're not gonna be as nice.
Technically, they're really poorly made, but they're on the cusp of being fun and good. But there's always something that pulls you back down to like, oh, fucked it up there. But I still keep giving it a chance. And like we said, I had no interest in watching the new one, which comes out, which is kind of why we're doing this one, because there's a new Saw movie coming out. But now I kind of like I'll probably go see it because I kind of need to know. It's just same reason I still watch The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. Not even liking those shows. I'm invested enough to go. I kind of want to see where this goes.
Right.
I don't even like it anymore. It's poorly done. The dialogue is bad. Oh my god, I hate this character. Why are they doing this dumb thing? I just want to see where it goes. And reading a plot synopsis on Wikipedia isn't enough. I need to see it myself. So there is something to these movies, but they're not. Right. You know, I would think of like if you like a really good horror movie. We talked about like Tremors is a really good, fun horror movie. You know, when The Ring came out, The Ring was a phenomenal horror movie. I'm trying to think of something else that's actually like has a bar of quality to it. I mean, Gore Verbinski did the first Ring, right?
Yeah.
You know, an acclaimed filmmaker. Who the fuck has worked on the Saw movies? A bunch of fucking nobody hacks. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean, literally, if you go to their IMDb and you look at who wrote this one, who directed this one, besides James Wan, who's now obviously very successful,
I'd say it worked out pretty good
for him. Most of the people who have worked on these movies also have only worked on shitty, low-budget horror movies.
Yeah.
And that's not me being mean. That's just the truth. But I mean, none of the people that are involved with this have like broken out to be big stars. Now, the new movie is being directed by these two guys who actually have made some really cool movies in the past in Australia. They made that Undead movie.
Oh, these are the guys that did they did that vampire movie that was pretty good too.
Yes. So
Daybreakers.
Yes. So this one could be
that's exciting.
Made by guys who already have a little bit of acclaim and have a little bit more quality to the products they produce.
And those guys actually know how to have fun in their movies.
Exactly.
So maybe this movie will be fun.
So again, when I say they're shitty, I think the first Saw movie had a really genius idea.
There's a lot of potential
and philosophy and potential, but it got so far up its own ass through the whole series.
Well, also in the formula.
Yes.
They just kept doing the same thing over and over.
Exactly.
Not even in a way that I can criticize, because that's so clearly the goal, is to every Halloween just give the people with this thing that they're used to, and this is what
And I figured after the third movie, like the quote-unquote trilogy would be over, they would do something new with the fourth movie. But no, by the time the seventh movie is out, you're literally watching the same movie 7 times in a row, which is really disappointing. So, I thought 2 or 3 of them, okay, I get it, you got a formula now, but you got to change it up. But they literally do not give a shit. They just do the same thing every single fucking time.
So sorry for the quick thing. We started talking about the first movie, but then I actually do. There's a lot more conversation that I'd like to have about the series as a whole.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll just try to save it for the after we're done talking about the movies. So
okay, so
get back to the
Okay, so
Saw 1, which is they call it Saw A New Hope.
Yeah. So you get Robin Hood wakes up. The cassette tape thing, which is also prevalent throughout the series, there's a cassette tape, and you listen to it, and it's like, you want to play a game, you have to do this, or you die. Lawrence Gordon is Robin Hood's name, and his task is to kill Adam by 6 o'clock, or else his family dies.
Right.
And then we find out that he was cheating on his wife, and he really wasn't the nice doctor, and his patient is the guy who is Jigsaw. Whatever. It's so fucking convoluted.
You know what's funny? I'm gonna say this right now. I remember seeing the first movie, and when you get to the end, you get to the big reveal, oh, it was the cancer patient, just because you mentioned cancer patient. So, and I'm like, how the fuck does this, however many years old, cancer patient dying of a tumor, like, how the fuck did he do all this stuff? Overpower grown men and stuff. It's just kind of funny. Eventually, now I watch the sequels.
But that's the thing. When we talk about potential in the beginning, like, had this just been a straight horror movie, it doesn't matter. But when you try to hard science and go, well, he had this help and he had this help and he was actually going through this, it's like, no, just leave it as like magic.
Right.
Or nobody cares.
Right.
It's just a horror movie, let it go. So, yeah.
Well, that's the problem. The thing is, what are those fucking assholes, the guys that just shit on movies all day long on YouTube? That's like the whole internet.
Cinema Rectum.
Cinema Sins.
Okay.
Because their whole thing is like, no movie is without sin. So they sit down movies like fucking Fury Road, like
perfect movies,
and shit all over them. Of course, right? But like the point is that when something is not great, you see the thread and you want to pull on it.
Yeah.
So you're right. Who gives a shit that he's a cancer patient and all these things? But maybe if the movie had not given me enough time to even like think about that, I would have never, started poking at it. And then the rest of the movies wouldn't have felt the need to justify all of the other, things that happen in the movie.
Basically, you go back to the Star Wars midichlorian thing.
That's kind of different because literally nobody asked that question.
Right.
Everybody was completely fine with the idea of the Force. Like nobody needed that explained.
It's just like it's some serial killer guy, right? Let it go. Anyways.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So This is, and this is coming back from the end of the series, go back to the beginning. This is already, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, breaking the number one rule of the entire series, which is Tobin Bell is the actor's name?
I don't know.
Because his name is, I don't even.
What character?
This Jigsaw. What's his name, James?
I forgot his name. I don't know.
I already forgot his name.
I forgot his actual character name, too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think his actor's name, Tobin Bell. His whole thing is, I detest murderers. I'm not a murderer. I just I let them appreciate their lives by giving them a chance to not die,
bullshit.
right? His first task is kill the other guy in this room.
Right.
Okay, how are you not a murderer now? Oh, I didn't murder him. Okay, but you're telling someone to murder someone or you'll kill their family.
Right.
Also, you're going to kill their family. Well, I mean, I guess if he passes the test, they don't. But
well, this is the whole thing where it's like, you raped her. No, I didn't. You pointed a gun to her and said, if you don't have sex with me, I'll kill you.
Right.
No, well, I didn't technically rape her. It's kind of the same thing.
But that's even farther removed, though. But this one is literally everyone's supposed to have a chance to live. Everyone has a chance to get out of these traps if they dedicate themselves to really want to survive and appreciate their life. The first one is one of you has to die.
Hey, you know who else probably didn't technically kill anybody? Hitler.
Yeah.
Jigsaw's Hitler. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree. So I guess I might as well talk about this. We're never going to talk about the first movie, but like every time you hit like a new point about like the series as a whole, like I feel like that's where I got to unload.
Yeah. That's why I said the series as a whole has a lot of culminations that only happen once you've seen them all.
Right.
And then when you talk about one of them, you're like, well, this has reverberations through the entire series, you know?
So the first movie, Jigsaw, after watching the first film, I was kind of like, okay, he's like a bad guy out of a Batman comic book. He's like straight out of like a Batman Rogues Gallery.
I mean, he's practically the Riddler.
He should be locked up at Arkham Asylum, you know. So that's kind of the vibe. That's what we're doing with these movies. It's like a comic book villain, because he is like, he's the master of traps, and he's got. They abandoned this shit after the first movie, but has a fucking sword that comes out of his sleeve, you know, and he's got a costume, you know, like he's a fucking comic book bad guy. And I'm like, okay, fine, you know. And so as a comic book bad guy, like your motivations are pretty like.
Hold on, you want to know something really funny? You go to the IMDb for Saw. The actual Jigsaw character isn't even listed in the cast of characters on like the main page. You have to go to the
He probably doesn't have an actual name in the first movie because they don't identify him until the.
He's a major. I mean, you're right. He's barely in it, but yeah, Tobin Bell is the actor name. It doesn't actually say what his whatever. Keep talking.
It's like a Billy Goat.
So this is gonna bug me if I can't remember his name.
Right. Anyway, the more the movies kind of dive more, the more that the movies got into like this is why he does it, his quest and his, he developed his philosophy and all these things. I just think Jigsaw fucking sucks.
John Kramer.
John Kramer, yeah, that's right.
Okay, so John, not Jim, not James.
Well, I think John Kramer fucking sucks.
But I don't know. We'll figure out which movie it is that when he becomes like why he becomes that. Again, I get it. I understand it.
It's lame as fuck.
A little bit. It's one of those things where only because it happened to you, kind of like you said. It's
well, that's why I think he sucks. That's separated. That's separate from just like that's the best origin you could come up. This is fucking. How is his for the crazy fucked up things that he does? How is that the most pedestrian fucking like? Because they fucked up. They went for what they reached for was empathy. What they reached for was try to get you to care about like where he came from and stuff. That's a tall order.
And
for
it made him
that's doing
more of a D-bag than he was just by being a horror guy.
And just like I think is a total fucking douchebag. And what it should have done is just been like, look at the fucked up shit this guy did. Must mean that he's pretty fucked up person. Like where I remember thinking like, I mean, I guess I never even had the chance to think about it because by the end of the first movie, you kind of already get what's going on. But I'm like, why isn't this guy like some like comes from like a Russian like labor camp like fuck like he's literally
he survived the Holocaust.
He's literally had the most fucked up existence possible, right? Like that's the character. That's the character who has never puts anybody through anything that hasn't already been through himself.
But we have like empathy, like it's like imagine someone who's like survived the Holocaust and then has found like people who were like SS soldiers and is paying them back in a way.
Yeah,
like something deep where you go, sure, he's a bad guy, but maybe he's not so bad,
Right, but like, I mean, like you'd have no choice, but you didn't put me in this position of like, like really. Okay, so whatever. All I'm saying is that I think that just on a like a comic book level, I think there was like potential, But like it really was just like, hey, what's creepy and fucked? The dolls are creepy, man. Just do a doll. Have the doll and it'll be on a bike. Yeah. And there's like no reason for it. There's no, oh, he's Jigsaw because he takes pieces from people. Why? I don't know. It's kind of just fucked up, you know. Oh, I take the pieces from people because it's the piece they're missing from themselves to make them whole. People, go fuck yourself. Like with this pseudo philosophical bullshit.
It's a marketing thing. You could be like, hey, here's a cool thing we can market and put on a poster. It's literally
just, fucking creepy pig mask. Why? Because scary
his
looking.
Child died, which would have been born in the year of the pig.
It's so stupid.
It doesn't. Again. Go a straight horror movie. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, fuck it. Who cares? Like, why are you trying to... So by doing that, you're opening yourself up to all this scrutiny. The ultimate scrutiny for me being on a personal level, perhaps on a political level, I look at this guy and just go like, fuck you, you fucking hypocrite douchebag. Fuck you. I sympathize with most of the people that he's fucking with, which I guess is the point. Like, you want to be able to... You want to have sympathetic characters you put in the situations, but you don't end up caring about any of them.
Right.
But like they're all hateful people because they're all just bad characters. But the point is that the movie doesn't do any.
But it gets worse as the series goes along because then it just becomes a point of like payback.
Right.
Like, oh, you're a bad person.
Because they don't even become real. They're just
again, the first people, they might have been doing things. You know, Lisa, the photographer, you're apathetic towards life. You don't seem to care about anything. Well, I'm going to give you a chance to find out if you really do care about life. The doctor. I don't really know why he went after the doctor, why he went after Robin Hood. I mean...
Anything that you feel like hazy on, it's just because, like, you neglected your... Like, she was probably having an affair, you know? Like, or something. Or you didn't spend as much time with your husband as you should have. Like,
yeah.
He's the most judgy little bitch. He's just
that's the thing. The doctor wasn't... I think we find out, like, later on, like, if I had gone to a specialist, but the insurance guy, but the doctor didn't want it, she's too interested in how good he looks or whatever. That, I don't... That's a payback. That's I'm mad at you for not being what I get. The photographer, he says again, you're apathetic towards life. Let's see if you really want to live. The drug addict, you really aren't treating yourself fairly. Do you really want to live or do you want to kill yourself? Because you get a lot of patients who try to commit suicide and you go, well, they didn't really want to kill themselves.
Which he does that too.
They just wanted attention.
He takes people that are suicide survivors.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, let's see how serious you really were.
But that I get. There's a philosophy there that actually, you might not agree with it, but I get it. It makes sense. But again,
I guess maybe I'm just a little
You're a gang member.
I'm a little snowflake.
You're a bad person.
That's what I mean. Like it's sort of like the idea, like Batman has kind of grown up with the times, whereas like the criticism is like, oh, he's a rich white guy who runs around beating up people that are probably come from like socially, or, you know what I mean? Like they came from poverty and so they have force, whatever the fuck. So the comic books have taken more and more of a focus on like serious, like bad guys, like Joker, serial killer, kind of like people, right. Not necessarily like him, like stopping bank robbers and stuff like that, or at least, and still like Bruce Wayne goes out there, he's a philanthropist. There's a lot of things that have been done to kind of clean up Batman's image, but you look at, Jigsaw, it's just like, I mean, it's just, again, maybe I'm just a snowflake, but like you can think a fucking drug addict with or an alcoholic, or like somebody who has like legitimate like problems, right? Yeah. Like mental issues, depression, like addiction, like all these things. Like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll put him in a torture device, which is fine if you want to be if he's just like a full on villain, right? Just like a full on bad guy, like just fucking like scary, right? Well, like you go back and you watch Seven, like John Doe is scary.
Well, I go back to like there's a fine line between the Punisher, who I love because I love how he handles business and why he does it, and someone who's like, the complete flip side of, well, I'll go with Daredevil,
Right.
Everyone gets a chance, whatever. He's like that mesh between the two, but he's still really Punisher-y. But he tries to act like he's Daredevil. I'm referencing, I don't know, the comic book part. I'm referencing the Marvel Extended Universe on Netflix.
Yeah, he's a lot more like hardcore in the show.
I'm saying the shows. Yeah. I'm referencing the comic books. So, Jigsaw acts like Punisher, but tries to pretend that he's Daredevil.
Yeah,
I know what I mean.
I understand what you're saying. He's trying to be like the noble superhero guy, but like he's holy shit, he's the Punisher.
Because if you really wanted like the traps thing, the traps wouldn't have 60 seconds on them.
Yeah.
He'd be like, you have 20 minutes to get this out.
Right.
You still have to cut your own.
And a lot of them very much seem like stacked against the person. And, like there's no way for them to get out of it. That kind of gets addressed later when there's things you think Jigsaw is doing, but it's really just one of his assistants that's getting overzealous.
Go back to the first movie. How the fuck was Adam supposed to survive and Gordon supposed to survive if everyone really had a fair chance? Gordon only gets to win if he kills Adam.
Right. So again, puts them but way back into supervillain territory, right? Where like that's not really the point. The point is just for you to die.
Right.
But I feel like these movies think that he's like, and that's the problem.
I try to accomplish this. Oh, it makes you think. And you go, no, wait a minute, step back a little bit. The guy's just a fucking asshole.
No, he's just an asshole. And the more human they tried to make him, the more just like anyway. All right, so that's it.
Yeah, that's the series.
I think Jigsaw sucks, but he could be fun.
Yes.
That's why I'm very excited for this new movie because it's Jigsaw's dead, right? Like, and
I always thought that, especially after watching the third movie, and when he quote unquote dies or whatever, I kept thinking that there was. I think this all started because I saw the poster for Saw 3D, which is Saw 7, and they're what I always assumed was they were building a giant Japanese man, because for some reason, like if you've seen the poster where like they're building a giant statue.
No.
Or what it looks to be like they're building a giant human being who might be like one big trap on the inside. It's that they're building a giant jigsaw.
Okay.
Not a jigsaw. They're building the guy. They're building John Kramer.
Right.
And he's missing part of they're still in the construction phase.
Uh-huh.
So you guys can't see me, but I'm doing it for Ryan. Like this part of his head's missing. And for some reason, he just looks like an old Yakuza Japanese businessman to me. Until I finally looked close enough and went, oh, that's the guy. I didn't realize that's what it was. I said, why are they building up a giant Japanese guy? What's this all about? And that's when I decided to read the Wikipedia stuff because I'm like, why are they doing this? That poster, no bearing, makes no sense, has nothing to do with anything. I always thought that he fakes his death or he comes back.
Of course he did.
Or Jason goes to hell and he puts his essence into somebody new. And then
they won't go supernatural.
Right, but that's what I thought looking at these posters. And then when I watched it, I'm like, something's going to happen, right?
I mean, the whole fucking thing is supernatural because there's no... Every time I read something online where somebody's like, well, I like these because it's a breath of fresh air because it was something realistic versus I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The engineering feats alone.
Oh my God,
like any of these things, none of this is real.
I want to get to the, I think the fourth one when he tracks him to his house and he goes in the house and he finds the doorway in the kitchen to go down below the house.
Yeah.
And below the house, he's got a fucking room where the walls, like the trash chute in Star Wars.
Trash compactor.
He's no longer underneath someone's house.
Right.
He's in a fucking industrial area. How did you get there?
Yeah. Anyway.
There's sewers under everyone's house.
Jigsaw sucks, but he doesn't have to. In the new movie, if they make it fun, if they really lean into the comic book villain aspect of it,
and less about leaning into how elaborate your trap can be, or how
that's fine, but it's got to be not so look how fucked up this is, and more fun. Make it fun.
Yeah, that's why I like.
It's 5. A meat grinder.
I liked 5 because it was the multiple choice, or not multiple choice, the multiple ways to actually get out of this.
Yeah.
But they were too stupid to see it.
Right. 6 had some fun stuff. 6 seemed like it was having some fun. Now we're just not even. The 6, the one where they both had to whoever could put the most amount of flesh in the thing.
Somebody has to die there. That's stupid.
Yes, but okay. So what the people are like? Oh, those movies just devolve into the traps. They're not traps. But what the fuck? Trials. But that one at least it seemed. That's what I mean. I would enjoy the movies more if more of them were like that, where that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was sort of just a look at these two ravenous people, how much they want to survive against each other and dumping their own things. It was gross, but it was also so ludicrous that it was kind of hilarious.
Actually, I like not that part of 6, but the rest of the movie where it's the guy has to go through all these trials. I felt that was more.
It was more. Again,
that was more impactful.
The playground where all the employees went around and they're all just fuck you, don't kill her, don't kill me.
See, but again, the acting and the dialogue is so just they're so annoying. Kill all of them. But the idea of that trap, whatever you want to call it, it's interesting.
It was it was played to be fucked up instead of played to be kind of a little bit funny.
Right, but it came out funny even though it was trying to be serious.
Despite itself. All right, we're back to the first movie.
Okay, these torture porn
Jigsaw
movies
sucks. That's my point.
Basically, these movies probably would be banned in Saudi Arabia.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's okay.
Thank you. So
that joke had the effect of a sawed-off shotgun.
Let's get to the first movie still. Okay, so he's got to kill the guy. He says, follow your heart. And there's a heart on the toilet tank. And the first thing he does is dig his hand down in the shit part of the bottom. And I'm like...
Silent Hill?
Yeah, seriously. And he goes, oh, why don't you check the top of the toilet? And he goes, well, I wish I would have thought of that first. And I was already like, I hate these characters.
Yeah.
Because would you stick your hand into a pile of shit or would you look in the toilet tank first? Any regular person would have said, well, the heart's that, I would... Oh, I wish I would have done that first. That's not funny. That's stupid. That was, again... Oh, okay. So back to the whole overarching series. Whenever anyone's in a trap, they're doing the help me, oh fuck you, man,
right.
Fuck you. You get to a point where now I can imagine it is very. I don't want to wake up in a Jigsaw puzzle. I would probably freak out and be nervous and whatever, but I'm not going to sit there and just, fuck you, help me, hey man, fuck you, no, help me. Like, they accomplished nothing. Well, what is it you learn about Dawn of the Dead? It's not the zombies, it's the people. If you guys learned to work together, you would all survive. If you learned to work together, things wouldn't be so bad. But because everyone devolves into a fucking idiot, that's why society falls and civilization goes nowhere and zombies win. Here, it's like, if you guys just shut up for a second and communicated and tried to get, talk a little bit, you do a better job. Every time you see someone in a movie who does the dumb thing, as an audience viewer, it's hard to go, oh, I sympathize with them. Because I'm immediately like, fucking kill them both. That guy's annoying. The photographer, fuck him, kill him. At least Gordon, the Robin Hood, was more interesting as a character. The other guy was just a whiny bitch.
Yeah. Well, the other guy was a doctor, so he at least had some kind of insight. And he knows.
But how he's like, calm down, let's think this through.
Right.
Again, I want to see the people work their way out of the
and then
trap. Or the what?
And then get killed.
And then get killed, right. I want to see them, use their brain. I want to see someone be smart and figure out a way to beat him at his own rules.
Like the one where they're a group, and there's the one guy who's the reporter.
Yeah.
And he ends up getting killed, and they're like, shit. I'm like, what? I'm like, well, he's an asshole, but he was smart.
He was an asshole, exactly.
Right.
And that's
but he was a problem solver.
But that's where you go. The division there is like, well, this guy's annoying because he's kind of an asshole, but he's a good thinker.
So this is this room they wake up in is. Can we just get to the point where the lights are on?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a brightly lit fluorescent room with lots of white tile, right? And
it's old and dirty. The pipes are corroded.
It's the only moment in the entire franchise that actually looks like a movie. I'm just talking about from purely aesthetics, lighting, the way it's shot. Like, it's the only thing to me that actually feels like a real movie. And I feel like that's part of what launched this, was that this idea of just two dudes waking up in a room, which was what their initial pitch. The two dudes.
I can imagine this being like a 20-minute short.
It's just exactly what happened. James Wan and this other guy, they're kind of come up with their idea, right? And their idea started with just, what if two guys wake up in a room and there's a dead guy on the floor,
right? And
that's like where they start.
And that's interesting.
And then they wrapped a whole idea around it, and then they actually did make a short 5-minute. The scene with the reverse bear trap with Amanda.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna remember this guy's name. The photographer,
Adam.
actor. They shot that scene with him in the role of Amanda, and that's what they shopped around to get people to look at their thing along with the script. So it's like, why Saw a thing? Because it's credit where credit's due. That is a fairly novel thing. I don't think anybody really seen that in never before, but for not mainstream. You saw it and went to the Cineplex and saw a horror film.
Yeah,
probably not what you were expecting, especially not for the time. I wish I would have looked up what other horror movies were coming out around this time. One of the articles I read mentioned the Ring, so I wonder if that was around that time. Maybe Ju-on, kind of that style stuff.
I think that was late. Well, yeah, same. Yeah,
around the same time, because this is when I was burning out on horror, because I didn't like either one of these genres really very much. And so I can understand why that would be kind of like a breath of fresh air. But everything else in the movie, police stations, the actual other traps, trial things, every other color corrected to goddamn death thing in this movie feels just boring, gross, flatly, just badly lit, TV, whatever. And it's a small indie movie, fine.
You have Danny Glover, but yeah, it almost feels like TV acting.
And I get
almost like it's an episode of Saw and Order.
Right. That's okay. That's very good.
I'm almost out, by the way. I'm going through them. I'm burning through them quick.
I'm so sorry. I saw
what you did there.
Anyway, I'm just credit where credit's due. This, whenever I would kind of my brain would go to sleep when they weren't in the room, and then they get back in the room, they're paying attention again.
Easily, yeah. If the camera never left that room, and the entire movie was there, that'd be. You could almost say that was a masterpiece movie.
Honestly, that's what the movie should have been.
It's like Cube.
Right.
Because Cube stays within the cube, and you never kind of get out of it.
Yeah, but you get to different rooms, so there are different set pieces.
But the idea that if you had kept it, not claustrophobic, but kept it tight and kept it really about that would be interesting. And again, it's a puzzle.
This is what people liked about this first movie, is what I'm saying.
This is why people do puzzle escape rooms and stuff now.
That's what was my next thing I was going to bring up. were escape rooms a thing before this movie, or did this literally just like birth that entire thing?
I feel like it birthed it.
If you know, I'd be interested in the comments or Instagram or whatever. Like I'm actually kind of fascinated by that. I've never done an escape room, but like
Yeah, you have.
It was not an escape room.
Oh, it was an escape room? Okay.
No. But I don't know. Yeah, it seems like this is the escape room movie. So
anyways,
sorry.
Okay. No. Again, these are all the series as a whole has a lot of mixed emotions on, and it's hard to kind of get that out there. So the already stupid characters, they get the hacksaws. Again, first movie, pretty much right in the beginning, and lasts through all 7 movies, is the terrible sound mixing. The dialogue is too quiet, and then the shockingly loud parts are way too fucking loud.
I'm gonna interject again. So, and this will be another question, like for the audience. No,
like I say, with the new It, I used to say, oh, those scenes were too loud because they were trying to be shocking. But at least the rest of the movie, everyone's dialogue was fine. Here it was like I had to turn the volume up to hear anybody, and then when I knew something was going to happen, I immediately had to turn the volume down because I didn't want to get blasted.
Right. So this is the whole. I'm a handcuff hacksaw combo, right? Where if you don't cut off one of your limbs, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you think of anything else that's been in?
That's been in?
Yeah. That idea.
Whew.
I mean, I got them queued up, but I'm just curious if anything comes to your mind.
I mean, no.
Okay, so the first thing I say is...
There's like handcuffs, like you'd have to do something with handcuffs, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
So Watchmen, there's a famous scene in Watchmen where Rorschach, the guy in the trench coat with the mask, his first kill that's what he does. He handcuffs the child murderer and leaves him the hacksaw, and he lights a fire and says, like, you're not going to cut through the chain in time if you don't cut it. And people are like, oh, that scene, and then it ends up in the movie and stuff. But Alan Moore ripped that off from the very first Mad Max movie. That's literally the climax of the film. Mel Gibson, the last member of the bicycle gang or whatever, he handcuffs him to a car and he does like an elaborate thing with the gas coming out of the car and says the exact same thing to me, like, you're not going to be able to cut through the chain in time, you're going to have to cut your hand off. I just think it's funny. It's like this tradition of this like concept of having to cut your limb off. That Hollywood loves this idea. It just like keeps coming back, and I'm curious. I want to give Mad Max the credit for that being the first time anybody ever did that.
Well, so it's not Hollywood, it's Australian.
It's Australian thing. It all goes back to Australia. So anyway, it's just a quick thing. I was just interested if anybody else knows if there's some like movie from 1933 or something
that started the whole trend,
started the whole fucking thing, or it's from a Dostoevsky novel or some shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so and then you find out this is not the first trap, and now we start doing the backstory with there's a guy who dies in the razor wire. Yeah. There's Amanda, the drug addict, who has the head device, who has to, and again, we're breaking the rules again. Her thing was there's a key inside the stomach of the dead guy in the room with you.
Right.
Well, if he's technically dead, then Jigsaw would have to have been a murderer. But then she realizes he's not dead, and she has to kill him to get the key out. So again, you have to kill a person to get out of here, which makes Jigsaw a murderer.
Which, by the way, if these movies were ever showed or expressed an interest in having a character that wants to say, by the way, you're full of shit,
yeah,
would be fascinating. But the movies are so into him. They're so into him.
Because what we find out along the way is kind of like everyone who survives ends up kind of like joining his cause in a way.
Yeah, it works. Okay.
And again, I get it.
Jigsaw's 10-step program.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we going? The break. Okay, Jigsaw's a liar. Okay.
So Carrie Elway's character gets kind of framed / implicated.
Well, his wife and kids get kidnapped, or wife and kid. Yeah. And Danny Glover. Again, and then we're doing this like flashback, flash forward.
Danny Glover's in this movie.
Because at this point, Danny Glover's in this movie, but he's already like kicked off the force.
Right.
Because we then see what happened earlier is when they almost caught Jigsaw when he was doing this stuff before. And, he went insane because his partner got killed and he got obsessive and they kicked him off the force, whatever. I don't even know how we flash back to that, but just the idea that why couldn't we have just had this movie with just these guys and that's the whole thing? But now we have to have this other thing that already happened, and not FBI. What city is this in? It's funny because
it's in city.
This like majorly thought out, crazy engineered serial killer. It's just like, oh, he's not really killing that many people. I mean, he's just like in this one area. It's like in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's not even like this big threat to the world or anything. It's just maybe killed a couple of people in Detroit or something, But you get the feeling like this is this massive thing, but really it's like the local police department, which might have looks like it has like 24 employees total. is all there is to handle it or something.
I mean, it's a low budget film, right? Because if you did a bigger budget version of this, right, this would be national coverage, right?
Right.
This would be fuckface in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like this is like nonstop. This is all we are talking about.
Like fuck, Hans Gruber, Die Hard. It's like I've got the whole building hostage, and I'm gonna chop them into pieces. And
I mean, that's a major deal, but they can't afford that.
And that's fine. I'm just saying, it's funny how they make it out to be like this big deal, but yet it's really this small area. Who knows?
So people have kind of heard of Jigsaw. I'm like, bullshit. He would be bigger than Jesus.
Yeah.
He'd be bigger than Elvis. Like this is major deal.
Absolutely. Okay, so the guy who kidnaps his wife and kid is actually one of the orderlies at the hospital that the doctor works at, who appreciates
He's
John
feeling
Kramer.
Lost in life.
I guess. So, yeah. So
you never watched Lost, so that joke went over your head.
So we know that Jigsaw has like accomplices. He's not working by himself. At least he has at least one at this point. Danny Glover and his buddy Singh.
I wanted to make a joke about because you did Saw and Order, and then he's an orderly, so say Saw and Orderly, but that didn't really work.
Yeah, good try.
Jigsaw and Orderly? No.
So Danny Glover's viewing the tape from one of the other ones. And he's like, I know where he's at, and look at I've triangulated on the map.
Yeah, because I know the gang member. I remember this because they like it. So okay, I remember. So
you're probably gonna be wrong, but
no. He's familiar with like. There's like gang graffiti or some shit that he sees, and then he hears the fire station.
Okay, yeah, he hears.
So like he knows it's a certain neighborhood because of his experience with like
a fire alarm going off somewhere. And then yeah, whatever the case may be, they go to the mannequin factory. No backup. They didn't tell their boss. Hey, I think we caught a serial killer. I think I know where his headquarters are. Let's just me and you go check it out with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. That happens.
Because they got plenty of SWAT guys. They're clearly ready to go.
Oh yeah, that city has a lot of SWAT. I'll tell you that.
What was I gonna also say? Shit. So I was gonna say I don't know why they have to go through all the rigmarole of trying to figure out where Jigsaw is with something, convoluted thing nobody's gonna remember. All they got to do is find out who had the most mannequins stolen. This like who's missing all the mannequins? He's got all the mannequins. Every fucking mannequin in the world. That's all.
As a series,
who's buying up all the springs and mechanisms and cogs and
but I mean I was more so like later on in the series you find out like he was a civil engineer and he could build anything because he's a fucking genius, right? Well, he had his own buildings, but why is he in this mannequin factory in the first? Again, that makes no sense. I mean, it's fine in the movie, but later on they try to explain it, and it doesn't explain why he was in a mannequin factory. Why would he be there? And it's shut down mannequin factory.
Oh, so this is Danny Glover. So this is the scene where they find his lair, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he doesn't even have. I mean, does he want to get caught? Because he walks in on it as if like he had no idea they were there.
Oh, that shit was so stupid. I'm trying to remember why it was so stupid. Let me see my notes. I think that I can remember. I have a note that just says "I hate Adam." That's all it says. I think that's the photographer.
Yeah,
character.
I don't know why.
I just think he was.
Either way, they go to his lair. They find a victim that's there. They don't undo it because we hear him coming up the elevator. So let's cover up the victim and not save him, and then. Let's not shoot him, and then he gets away, and then his partner gets blown his head off, and I don't know. Whatever.
There's a whole thing because it was like let's
sickness.
Hide because we want to
see what he's gonna do.
Face? What?
Yeah.
Who fucking cares? He's there.
Yeah.
Asshole, get down on the ground like you're under arrest. Like that's the end of the story. You know. And I had a memory of like shoot the fucking drill.
Yeah.
But they did shoot the drill, so. They tried it. It didn't work.
I would have shot the power cord.
So this also, did you already say about how Jigsaw, I don't kill anybody, but he slits Danny Glover's throat?
So I don't know if it's in this movie that he says that. Like I know by the third movie he's like, I detest murderers. I don't murder. But yeah, maybe it's just self-defense.
I didn't technically murder him. I just slit his throat.
I didn't murder his
I did it in the
partner.
exact right way. I knew that he would not die.
Yeah, John Wick style.
I didn't
put
kill
the
his
knife
partner
in.
either. He fell into one of my traps. I can't help that's what happened.
I just had a shotgun hanging with a wire. I didn't mean for him to walk into it.
Didn't he actually shoot him?
Yeah, he shot him with a shotgun from
Did he?
He seemed like he was like.
We just all assumed that he was wearing a bulletproof vest or what?
He seems like he was like hobbling afterwards, like he got hit in the side or something.
But yeah, never brought up again. Okay.
Yeah. But it's like John Wick, he's like, I put the knife right above your aorta. If you hold the knife here, you won't die, but you have to let me go,
To me, this is the scene where I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, just because you have this like mysterious figure, you have these Jigsaw, and he talks to you through a puppet, and you don't know anything about him. He's got this voice. You can't like use the voice distorter, And why are you already like showing your hand?
Yeah.
Why are you demystifying showing this guy just like, oh, finally home, take this fucking pig mask off, And
my boxing robe.
Yeah.
My Rocky robe.
Yeah. It's just...
It's got to be big enough for my boxing gloves.
I just don't get it. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways. That's the key word there. Anyways. All right. Yeah, he says he's not a murderer. Yeah, kill the guy. Okay, go back to Robin Hood. They say, find the X marks the spot. Turn the lights off. There's some X paint in the wall. Breaks it open. Finds...
it's like another tape recorder.
a box that had a lock on it.
So
he's like, oh, give me
the cigarette.
Yeah, it was like, give me the key that I got earlier, and that opens that thing, and there's a cigarette, and then, there's poison in the blood on the floor. If you give the cigarette to Adam, he'll smoke it, and he'll die. And then he turns the light off and goes, hey, I'm going to give you a cigarette. Pretend to die when you smoke it,
Yeah.
That goes nowhere because he fakes his death in the stupidest way possible. And then they electrocute him to find out he's not really dead because he's faking his death. So, nope, that didn't work. Okay. They remember being grabbed in a really, it was in a parking structure. The fuck parking structure is that? It's like a barn with a second floor in it.
This is also like prequelitis, I guess is what I'll call it because I don't know what else to call it. If you show a flashback to something that I already know how it... I know he's been captured. He's in your room.
Yeah.
Why are you showing this scene?
For like the fifth time.
What are you doing? Because they do it with both characters. They continuously do it throughout the entire franchise. If they're there, you can just assume I can use my imagination. I don't even need to use my imagination because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't care. You used, what is that? What do you call the sodium? Chloroform?
Yeah.
Was that when you put it in the little thing in a million movies?
And you put it over the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you did that, or you stabbed him with a needle, or you shot him with a tranquilizer gun, or maybe you knocked him out. That'd be more fun, but we don't do that, And you don't need to show me. It's just a waste of everybody's fucking time.
Yeah.
Me talking about it is a waste of time. Sorry.
Turns out what you really were doing, you were cheating on your wife, and that's why you're such a bad guy. And
right.
Adam was taking pictures, which is weird because the photographer was taking pictures of him cheating. So I figure, Jigsaw paid this photographer to follow this guy, and then he took both of them. But turns out, no, Danny Glover was paying the photographer. So why did Jigsaw decide he needed to take the photographer?
He's taking too many pictures.
He's just like...
He's taking too many pictures to appreciate his life.
I don't know.
If you're looking at your life through a camera, Kyle, you can't truly appreciate it.
All right, whatever. Danny Glover, doesn't make reason for him to be there. So the guy tries to kill his family because he ran out of time. She fights back. Danny Glover shows up. They kind of shoot each other and then run away, which leads to the greatest car chase in the history of cinema. Here, sit in this car, shake the wheel a bunch, but we're not driving anywhere. We're going to run past you with these lights to pretend like you're driving under streetlights, blow a bunch of fog at you, and then shake the camera and speed it up all fast.
I can't even remember this.
You don't remember the car, them driving in the car with the camera zooming into it? It's the best part of the entire series.
Who's driving the car? Like, who's chasing you?
Zepp, the orderly, and then Danny Glover also.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I vaguely remember this now.
This is the epitome of this is the worst filmmaking in the entire series is when they do cars because
this guy's learning. His first movie. Hey, now the guy is doing Aquaman. All right, so he clearly learned.
Didn't he do Fast and the Furious 7?
6.
No,
he did not do the last one. He did the one before the last. He did the one
7.
with the Predator drone.
He did 7.
Drone.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah,
which
is 7.
Which is a terrible movie.
I like 7.
It's a fucking terrible movie. No, it's like the old like here sit in front of a green screen and then they have like fake lights that go by to make it look like it's moving, but it's just. If you haven't seen any of these, just like go to YouTube and just like Google like Saw car chase or something. Or it is the shittiest. It's a college filmmaker. Mm-hmm. At this point, you're like, well, I don't have any money, but we're in the dark. I can figure this out. Okay, cool. College student with no money. That's as best you could do.
Yeah.
This is a movie with a $5 million budget.
Is it really that much?
I think it is. So either way, don't film a car chase.
This has Danny Glover and Carrie Elways in it. So some of that money went.
Who?
Carrie Elways, isn't that his name?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you were like. I don't care. It was the stupidest. It was like the epitome of like, all this bad filmmaking. Here's the epitome of how shitty it is. I have no words. Sorry, $1.2 million budget.
That's a fairly big difference. That's a pretty low budget.
Yeah, but it's 2004. And,
Try not to shit on the movies too much for like looking for like doing cheap shit.
but again, do what
the
you're
best
good
they
at.
can.
Keep the two people in a room.
That's yes.
Don't.
And again, where it feels like a movie.
This was released into theaters.
Right.
If any other movie had that car chase in theaters, it'd be laughed out of the cinema.
Right.
It is so corny. Just show a car driving down the street.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad.
So Danny Glover, I'm trying to remember the sequence here. Danny Glover finds the orderly,
And
Zeb.
they chases him into the sewer and then gets shot and dies.
Right. So that's the
I
end of
guess.
that.
You didn't think he was dead, but I guess he's dead because they
Right.
never, ever
The
come
family
back.
does get away. Family survives.
Yes.
Okay.
They go to like the neighbor's house.
But then it turns out that so Carrie Elway's finally is like, I'm running out of time, or finally does the thing he thinks he needs to do and saws his fucking goddamn foot off.
yeah. And uses a bullet that was in the box and shoots at him with a revolver.
That's right. He does actually shoot him.
And then right after he shoots him, Zep shows up, the orderly, and it's like, you took too long. And he's like, I did it. He's like, it's the rules, the rule. And again,
Yeah.
here we emphasize, it's the rules. You have to follow them. But then Adam isn't really dead. He just got shot in the arm, takes a toilet tank and fucking bashes him in the head and kills the orderly, and then finds his cassette tape, which realizes, oh, he's part of the game too.
Right.
He was forced to do this, I guess.
I thought it. Oh, yeah. I can't even. Was he?
He has a slow-acting poison in his veins that only Jigsaw has the antidote to, so he has to deal
You know
with
what Jigsaw feels like, or in kind of the movies in general, but I guess like Jigsaw's character. You're when you're a kid and you play like, I don't know, you'd like play out a fight or whatever, like an imaginary fight with your friend, and you'd be like, I shot you, and you'd be like, no
you didn't.
I had a magic shield that actually you'd never even had the gun. No, while you weren't looking, I took all the bullets out of your gun, like kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we find out that guy and then is, he was being coerced into it, I guess, but not really because he seemed to like Jigsaw.
He seemed like he was kind of into it, but I guess not.
And there's like that scene earlier when they think that Robin Hood was he was the one who had been killing people because they had access to like medical supplies, and then they make him sit in and listen to Amanda's like testimony about what she went through. For what fucking reason?
Yeah.
They could have just had that.
It was there. I mean, this is the beginning of this franchise's like, adoration for Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Like, look, it worked.
But again,
he's
like,
the person that survived. And
what police investigation would you ever have a guy sit in and hear some victim tell a story? Never would happen.
it's it's a screenplay written by a fresh out of film school,
I guess,
film student who's not a screenwriter. They didn't do any research or whatever.
Whatever. It just
Doesn't matter. It's a comic book.
Yeah. But again, if it was just a straight horror comic book thing, it'd be better. They just tried too hard to make it real and yada, yada, yada. Okay.
So big twist. Dun, dun, dun.
So okay,
by the
here
way,
comes this
is
fucking
the beginning
music.
of...
I hate this music.
I like this music.
It's so
It
bad.
gets stuck in my head real bad.
It's 2004, and I don't know when or,
It's like one of the few positive things I actually have to say about it is that
the research on this thing where there's a twist at the end of a movie, right? And it makes you rethink the whole movie.
Right. I'm trying to think who...
Like, I don't know when
did it first, but like what other movies kind of do this? Like,
right. But
Usual Suspects. That would be like, you've seen the Usual Suspects, right?
No.
You ever fucking seen it? Okay.
No, sorry.
Did you know who that is?
Sort of.
Kaiser Sose?
No.
You don't know?
Keisterzos? That's like a cheat code in Warcraft 3.
Just shut up for a second and listen to this, because like The Usual Suspects was like one of the quintessential like early 90s indie like fucking like that and Pulp Fiction and like a couple of other things, right? And the whole thing of that at the end, it's like you have the character that's like putting all the pieces together and like, oh shit, this thing and that thing and then come to the realization, oh my god, he's Kaiser Sose. And I'm just coming to this realization myself. I'm having my Kaiser Sose moment that literally Saw is just sucking the dick, cupping the balls of The Usual Suspects and these kinds of movies. Man, they love that. That's exactly what this is.
Like a Rashomon in a way, almost.
Does it
not cool? I don't know if the end.
No,
like,
you got. I wish I could think of another movie, but like the people that are listening, if you've watched The Usual Suspects, you will see that like Blueprint, it's the same fucking thing. You get to your climax and you go, all the pieces were there, you just didn't see them. Like
that's almost like the calls coming within the house, the whole time. I get that, but
it's not just one. It's like a domino. Like here's 10 things.
But it's like a high schooler directed it and was like trying to be hardcore, bro. Didn't you know all this stuff that was happening? It's so
It's
dumb.
so dumb that I almost find it charming. Like It's nice too because like when you're watching these movies, all 7 of them, and you hear the music, oh thank God, that means it's almost over. It means it's finally over.
And the thing is that if it was just this movie, maybe the second one did it. But when you do it 7 times in a row, literally every movie has one of these with the same music, or it's like twisted a little bit. And I get it because at some point the fans, the people go, there has to be this part in the movie, right? It has to have it now. If it doesn't, if the new one doesn't have it at the end of the new movie,
it's like the people that
are you going to be disappointed?
Or you're playing like drinking games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like this is that last like shot you have to take at the end of the thing.
But like, look, if the new one doesn't have that, will you be disappointed, or would you say?
This is what I will tell you exactly right now. What I hope the new movie does.
Let me finish the question. Would you be disappointed if the new movie doesn't have this, or would you go, thank you for having a fresh idea and not just copying and pasting?
Both. I will be disappointed if the movie doesn't do the following: not do it in a way that makes you think like, oh, they didn't do it. And then it's like, just kidding. And then does it. That would be amazing. And that would be having fun, too.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome. You haven't given up on this yet. I kind of have. Oh, this is torture. Okay.
I mean, just put all the pieces together. You know, it does that. It puts that whole little last sequence. It just puts all the pieces together.
Maybe I stand up and did a jig. I'd get my energy back.
I don't know. You look puzzled. You don't get it.
You win.
So yeah, this little dumb montage that it's not as bad in the first one. Again, it was at that point it was the only movie. It did its thing. You're like, okay, it's kind of stupid, but all right. The twist comes. What I meant by like what had come before this had done this is by now twist endings are stupid because they've been played out.
I think Shyamalan does this, right? You watch The Sixth Sense, it's the same fucking thing.
Right,
Domino.
everyone makes...
Yes. It's like, oh, everything was right there. And like...
Or, the idea of like a found footage movie. It's, when Blair Witch did it, it was okay. You keep doing it, it's like, dude, fucking stop. Unless someone has a fresh take on it or can do it differently. The first time was okay, but then they did it the second time, I'm like, okay, but they're not going to do this.
That became like...
a staple.
A trope.
Yes.
Right?
But if you're doing tropes, then you have to admit your movie is a piece of shit.
You have to start enjoying it in its own, like, like I wonder how dumb and stupid and good this twist will be.
Right.
Like how ridiculous. In this one, it'll be like, oh, it actually is. The whole movie maybe in the new one will be, no, it's a copycat, and then at the end it'll be, nope, it's Kramer, and like. How, and it'll be like, well, he switched the body out. He had an identical twin. And, you know what I mean? That was helping him. This was this 18th person that was an accomplice in helping him. You know what I mean?
This goes back to...
the ridiculousness of it has to be like a part of the charm at this point.
Right. But it gets... Again, like you say, charm and stupidity.
Why am I arguing for Saw?
I know. It just goes back to the thing of... if it was just a silly comic book thing and not trying to be this real... backstory and you care about this, it might be fine. Jason comes back every time and you don't fucking care and whatever. But it tries to take itself a little too seriously for it to then also be really terrible.
Can I also just say this before I forget about it? Again, these movies don't know how to have any fucking fun at all. Where is the character that gets kidnapped that's an escape artist? Where is that? Where the fuck is that? Where is Jigsaw versus Harry Houdini? It just seems so obvious.
Yeah.
It's like the movie producer in me is like, brilliant. That's what, for like part, like that's what you do. Or like, why is Jigsaw's dad was Harry Houdini, but he was also like a drunk, like fucking
made him hate puzzles,
abusive father, that was like, I won't feed you until you get out of this trap or something. And he's not always all fucked. You know what I mean? There's so many other fun things that you
make him an actual fucked up serial killer in the mind, not just this. I just don't like it when people are bad.
Right. All right.
So wait. So Gordon cuts his foot off. Says, "I'll come back for you. I'll go get help and come back." And then he leaves the room, dragging his no foot behind him.
Right.
And then turns out, we had the big montage that showed us everything that happened. If you're gonna have a montage at the end, this isn't so much bad of the first one. It's more the I think the second or the third one did it really atrocious, was if you're going to tell me everything that just happened and, show me all the things, you have to show me the B side. You have to show me what was happening behind the scenes to go, oh, but did you realize why this was happening? This was happening. You're mostly just literally showing me scenes I've already seen, but it's not that long. By the second or third movie, these montages, one of them was like literally like 2 minutes long. And I wrote it. Let me see if I can find my notes for the other one because it made me mad. Yeah, the third one. The recap at the end, okay, it retells you everything that you happened in case you're a fucking moron who doesn't remember what you just saw.
Yeah.
It's like, it's literally treating the audience member as a fucking idiot. Like, hey, I know you just watched this movie, but do you remember this part of this movie that you just watched?
Yeah.
It wasn't hidden. It wasn't like this. That's why I said if it's going to be, it has to be like something that was hidden, something in the background, something that was like behind the one-way mirror. It literally just shows you what you just saw.
Which you just saw.
It literally shows you what you've just seen because it thinks you're too dumb to put the clues together. I mean, it's insulting. Now, the first one's not that bad, but by the third one, it was fucking insulting. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. 20 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute and a half? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, let's just, I think this happened with, it wasn't Resident Evil. We did a movie series where it was just like, the beginning of this movie was literally like the 7 minutes of the previous movie. And you're just padding the runtime by showing me the same thing I just saw.
Yeah.
It's insulting. Anyways.
I mean, this is like the...
It's okay in the first movie, but when they start doing it more and more, it becomes this thing of just, this is... What do you think do you think I not know what I'm watching? Do you think I'm not paying attention? Do I really need a recap at the end of the movie? I don't know. Anyways, Jigsaw gets up. Turns out the guy was in the middle that was quote-unquote dead in the middle of the room the whole time was actually John Kramer, who had like induced himself with a drug to make himself sleepy for a couple of hours, and the gunshot that on his head was just a makeup effect. And then Adam sees it and goes, whoa! Adam picks up the gun. Oh, no. I guess he picks up Zepp's gun. I think he's holding a revolver. The revolver has no more bullets in it, and he points it at him, and then he shocks him, so he can't shoot him. Right. But I'm pretty sure the gun he had no more bullets in it anyways. Whatever. Then he says... Now you know what it feels like to want to live or to appreciate your life. The key's in the bathtub. Game over, turns off the light and closes the door and sends him to his death? He's just like, oh, you didn't get the key in the bathtub, so I guess you die.
You woke up like an asshole.
Oh, but then he's like, hey, you appreciate life. You've won the game. Isn't
Enjoy
that
the rest of life you have here in this dark room.
Right, but isn't the whole point he's supposed to say like, oh, you've learned to appreciate. You're willing to do what it takes to get out of here maybe? You put your hand on the shit and you killed this guy and you took a bullet.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just going to lock you in here and let you die.
Jigsaw's an asshole.
But then later in the other movies, we find out Amanda comes after she becomes his accomplice because she likes him so much after he fixed her drug addiction. She comes and kills Adam. And then he gets mad Jigsaw gets mad that he knows that she went and killed him instead of letting him, starve to death? Because when she goes again there, the guy's just sitting there like, I'm barely alive. What? What the fuck was Jigsaw, you're an asshole. You're a fucking liar. That's what it is. He's a fucking hypocritical liar. Saw 2. I don't know what to tell you. It's bullshit. In so many ways, it breaks its own rules that it sets up. Okay, so Saw 2. This is not Mark Wahlberg.
Saw 2, Saw Furious.
Saw 2 Saw 2 Furious.
Yeah, sorry, man.
One of my first notes was, who's this not Mark Wahlberg? And then I find out it's actually Donnie Wahlberg.
I said the same exact thing.
Okay, so here's our intro. I think this is where it starts with the really shitty camera, bad editing.
Oh, God. Because I think the only time they really do it in the first movie is just like when they flash back to the other, trials or whatever.
Right.
Where like the guy in the razor wire and but no, these movies movies are just jacking off all over themselves with this fucking editing.
It was the guy that was covered in like an oil and had to have a candle to go read the safe combinations in the glass and stuff. They start doing this thing where they take the camera and they do like a 360-degree pan around the subject while they're shaking violently, and they speed it up, and they put music to it, and then it cuts to the other direction, and it's wow! It's fucking stupid.
Yes, I agree with this and endorse this opinion.
This is high school or like freshman in college who thinks he's being edgelord, trying to make some cool fucking, I'm so extreme, man. You're not. Just shoot the movie. You know what? A little bit of patience pays off. Again, the first movie, 2 guys in a room, chained, just wake up. It's fucking interesting. Let it go slow. Let it have a slow burn. Let them figure their way out. You don't need the fucking do camera movement. It's fucking stupid.
Obviously, they know their audience, which is high school kids. They shouldn't be in this movie because they should be not allowed to go see a rated R film.
I don't know, man. It's corny. It's, again, what was it I was watching? It was something that was like, oh, I watched the show You're the Worst. And the guy in there he's a writer. He writes literature, and he ends up making an erotic novel. He
What are you talking about?
the show called You're the Worst. It's on FXX or something like that. It's really good. And the main character, like, he's like, I'm a literature. I wrote a novel and it got published, and it's kind of a big deal, a little bit, whatever. But then he has like writer's block, can't figure out what to do. He starts writing an erotic novel.
Okay.
But he despises erotic fiction novels. He goes, no, this is literature.
Yeah.
It just happens to
My
have this.
shit's not porn.
Right. But then his publisher comes in and she's like, it's called Width of a Peach. That's what the book is his book. And it's a picture. It's like a World War II drama. It's about like finding love within the middle of a war. And the book cover is like an atomic bomb dropping into a peach that's shaped like a vagina. So the thing is, the publisher, the marketer's like, no, we have you do this reading for a bunch of old women who are like, take your pants off, like it's an erotic novel, right? And he's like, fuck this, I despise this. And he goes, I kind of like it, I'm getting all this attention, right? I don't know where I'm going with this, but he creates the thing that he despises. What was I talking about for why I brought that up?
The editing and how edgelords and peaches, man, I don't even know.
you were talking about like kids not being able to go there, but
high school kids, yeah.
Is that so? He writes this book, and the way they convince him to do the erotic stuff is they go, okay, you want to do literature. Well, why can't this erotic novel be the sneaky way into showing these people literature?
Right.
They come in for the erotic and they get something good out of it.
Yeah.
Have this shitty low budget horror movie be something people come for the torture porn, but let them get a good slow burn movie out of it and learn what good cinema can be, right? It doesn't have to be edgelord garbage. It could be good.
Right.
And I don't think you're going to make any less money. If anything, you're going to come out and people are going to go, that's a really good movie.
I think edgelord garbage is a good word for this. I was thinking about how I don't know a lot about like heavy metal, you know, but a lot of my customers are into heavy metal.
Hey, I listen to Enter Sandman. I know heavy metal.
That's like, yo, good. You know what I mean? Like a real heavy metal person would be like, oh my God, they roll their eyes at that.
I know who Rammstein is. I know Du Haas.
Jesus.
I know heavy metal.
That's actually a good example. So
Angel.
There's a lot of guys that come in the store and they're wearing t-shirts and I'm like, hey, what is it? It gets me really excited because it's like it's actually really cool artwork and like kind of horror type stuff. Looks like comic book shit. And
you mean actual heavy metal?
They all 99 times.
Not the genre heavy metal. The
it's actually stuff. Well, those things are intertwined in a lot of ways.
Right.
Like somewhere along the line, the aesthetic of heavy metal magazine, which is described, and actual heavy metal, they kind of go. There's a reason why it's called heavy metal. Anyway, my point is that there's bands like Gore, right?
Gwar,
whatever. Cannibal Corpse, and like there's other like their aesthetic is like it's part of the fun of it. Like this is true in the rap world too. Like there's certainly like Outkast has had a similar like there's a lot of like old album covers that look like comic book covers and stuff.
Yeah,
there's some overlap. It's because if it's heavy metal, so you think of it as like this serious fucking thing. Like think of like Iron Maiden, right? Yeah. Like Iron Maiden is I feel like they're all very self-aware. Like it's part of the drama of it. Like, and it's kind of not a joke, but there's like a lot of my favorite horror films, there's a self-awareness of it that makes it enjoyable. Then there's this fucking this. I'm going to keep using the word edgelord, even if that's not the right term.
We're going to go with the ICP.
Just like actual gothic fucking super serious. I listen to Stained, man. Some shit like that, where it's like, it's I
not
guess emo is
it's not a genre, it's a way of life.
It's just like it's super serious, right? Yeah. Where Alex Navarro, this is just you and me talking now, right? Like, I know he'd be like way into metal and stuff, but like I've heard him talk about it. I can never get into it because I don't actually like the way that stuff sounds.
Right.
But the same thing that he likes about professional wrestling is kind of the same stuff that kind of sounds he likes about
the performance,
the performance of it. Whereas like I don't have an example for this because I don't know enough about music, but Saw is like the super. It's the kid that picks up the guitar, but it's like no, he's super serious. Like no, why don't we just put masks on because it's fucking fun,
right?
Like we're Slipknot, and we go up here and we all wear ridiculous fucking masks, and it's this insane show. Because that's just like it's part of the genre. The same way, like I'm a professional wrestler, and
it's more like people who listen to Korn and take it really serious.
Korn is kind of where I first went to. Like, I feel bad because I feel like that guy did get like raped or molested by his family. It was, but like that's part of it. Is like this fetishizing of like actual depression and darkness and like seriousness, dude. And it's
I need to remember that music can hit any emotion, but in the end, it's supposed to be this thing that's like you like it, you enjoy it,
right?
Don't revel in your fucking darkness. Just like make a good emotional, deep song, but listen to it and feel better.
So this is, I guess, now is a good a time as any to talk about horror porn, because what I want to say is that because I tell people, oh, I gotta watch those Saw movies, and they're like, oh god, I hate horror porn. Like I hate those, like, torture porn. Excuse me, torture porn.
Interchangeable.
And here's the thing. So like I've said before on podcasts, I don't like torture porn because I don't like things that are like this where it feels like the movie's saying this. Yo, dude, look how fucked up this is, bro. Bro, check out this fucked up shit. How fucked up is this? It's so fucked up. Oh man, that's fucked up. Like that.
Yeah.
I've watched movies before that.
Okay, a better example would be in the end of the third. The end of this movie, end of number 2, at the beginning of the third one, when he picks up right where it left off, he's like smashing his foot to break out of it because he doesn't have a hacksaw.
Yeah.
And there's one point where he grabs his ankle or his foot and he just goes crack.
Right, yeah.
I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's
literally
hilarious.
I chuckled out loud because it's so graphic and so horrifying that it's crossed the line of being serious into being funny. So have fun with it. Don't take it seriously.
I want to delineate all these different things because when I think of first in my head, I was like, when I think of torture porn, I'm like, actually, don't think of Saw because never at any point when I'm watching it do I feel gross or grody.
Right.
Which you would think you would be. Like they're trying so hard to make you feel that way.
I don't think anything can react. Like I'm pretty much.
Oh, I've watched movies that make me feel that way. If you want like Serbian film or Martyrs,
well, that might be a little different because
I'm just saying those are movies that are like genuinely disturbing that I don't want to. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yeah, that's a little
there's
more.
Movies that like I don't ever need to see again.
But that's like violent against women and
which is the part of that stuff. Actually, it reaches in there and like actually shows you irreversible. Wow, there's a good example. It's stuff.
But those are trying to replicate reality.
But that's kind of part of it. Is that there needs to be some again. For things that I think that are trying to disturb you, you probably do have to like introduce some element of reality to it.
Yeah, make it feel like this is something that would really happen, and if it did really happen. It's, oh, you heard that story about that thing that happened to that person? Well, here's what they went through. And you're like, oh,
right.
I don't even want to think about that. But when you're in like, I was watching the Universal Soldier, the 2009, the Dawn of Reckoning, whatever it was. And, Scott Adkins stops a machete with his forearm. And then you look at the machete, he's like halfway into his forearm. You're like, oh, it's fucking gross. That's good. But because it's funny, because it's stupid. It's not realistic. It's kind of like this stuff, but it wants to be taken seriously.
So that's kind of what I thought of when people say the term torture porn, things that are literally the only thing, the point of them is to be disturbing, to like really try to like touch your soul and hurt it.
Yeah.
And I went, so this is not torture porn. So then I rethought that though, because I'm like, what is pornography? Pornography is just.
Hey, I don't know what it is, but I know it when I see it.
I know when I see it, right? That's good. So porn.
I know when I saw it.
Porn is just something where you turn your brain off, right? Like it's just something that's happening. Because it's like, why do you even give a shit if you're just like, I'm not there to, hey, I just watch Transformers movies because I'm just there to be entertained. Yeah. Right? Well, then my response is always, well, why don't you just watch pornography? Because it's the same thing. Like, if you're just watching something to be stimulated and no other reason, then that's actually what pornography is.
So if you go back and you watch John Wick and you're like, I just want to watch the parts where he shoots all the heads, it's gun porn.
Sure, but that's stuff that you remember, right? Like, it's not stuff that's just like a...
I remember porn.
Do you remember like the Okay, but maybe this is not a rabbit hole I want to go down. Anyway, so Saw actually is like, in that sense, is pornography. It is just literally something that you turn your brain off the same way that you do when you're watching like Transformers film with just like lights and colors flashing at you. Yeah. To me, that's just like flesh rubbing around in your face, right? If you want to like, simplify pornography. So that's why I'll simplify this. So I can't remember what you said that made me bring this up, but so I recently watched Gerald's Game. Gerald's Game is fantastic, by the way. On Netflix now, fantastic movie. Go watch it. It's not a violent movie, but there's violence in it. There's a scene in it. There's a piece of gore, a piece of violence in it that is so fucking disturbing. It's very difficult to watch.
Like the dog?
No, but that stuff's gross too.
I haven't seen it yet. I don't want to.
I'm not spoiling anything, but like I had to cover up the screen. Like I had a really hard time watching it. not because it was violent. It was really violent. But the stuff in Saw is like way more violent. It's like way way
when
more
someone's
violent.
head gets split apart and the tongue's hanging out, you're just kind of like, that's stupid.
But the difference is that Gerald's Game spends this entire film like I get to know a character that I sympathize with, that I care about. There's a lot of weight behind it, a lot of stakes. And it's just a perfect example. It's like, but over here, so many people that I don't give a shit about. And it's really is just the meat factory. It's just like the butcher shop, you know? But like, imagine if you actually like that true like fuck you up movie would be the one where you do get to know these characters. You do like these characters, then have like really cruel, you know? It can't be cruel if you don't care about the subject.
Right.
You know? Like if you do shitty things to a dog and just film it, that is cruel because just by very nature,
you have
you don't even have to. I don't even need to get to know the dog. Like it's a dog. That's all I need to know.
That dog could be an asshole, and I still think it's cruel.
But like humanity is different, right? Like you have to get to know people. You have to like get to like people, right? So if you just show me a person and then do something awful to them on camera, it's like you said. You just get to a point where the more extreme the violence gets, the more just like.
When the dude gets cut up with a chainsaw in Scarface, you're like, wow, that's really bad. But
Brian.
But then they also
with Al Pacino.
But they also do it in a way that's like, oh, it's going into the head.
Right.
Ow! Yeah,
but that's a little bit different, you know. Like you've gotten to know that character. It's just shot. It's also Brian fucking De Palma. This is not, you know, we can't compare them.
But the end, you're like, that would suck if that was me. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like. But at the same time, it's also like that's pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the movie's realistic, so it has a little bit of hint of, oh, I don't want to, that's rough. Saw is, if you don't open this thing, your head's going to split open, and the nails are going to jam into your face. Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry.
We already did that one, I think. Anyways.
Okay, part 2.
Saw 2.
Eventually I run out of talking points, and then we'll just like blow through
all the
4 movies in 15 minutes.
Now that I'm standing, I can't read my monitor, so I don't even know what my notes are. We open the guy with the key under his eye, and he has to cut the key out to open up the mask, or the shots on his face, like an Iron Maiden, an actual Iron Maiden, right? Where it has like nails in it, the nails go into his face. And he doesn't make it in time, and his head gets dead.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, man, I don't remember this one. Okay, so this is the one where Kramer speaks, right? This is the movie where Kramer unmasked. He's been... quote unquote caught.
Hey, okay, wait. The jigsaw, the fact that he cuts the jigsaw puzzle out of a person's skin. I kept
expecting an actual puzzle. Like, right? You're gonna keep taking all these.
You're gonna put them all.
And then where's the fucking shot? He's a crazy because he's not Kyle. Because he's not a crazy asshole.
Well, here's the person.
He's a purpose.
Here's the thing, though.
You know, it's more fun if he's a crazy asshole and he had a shot where you go in his room. It's big fucking puzzle that he's putting together with everybody's little flesh pieces.
But I think he's cutting the same puzzle piece out of everybody.
It's the same exact.
So they wouldn't go together. There's no puzzle to put together. Anyway,
I already know how to do this. I've had to practice.
I feel like the new one's going to like have some kind of like, oh, the pieces all made a puzzle or something, whatever. I just like it was never explained, right? In the first one, then he didn't ever say.
No, it was just fucked up shit, bro.
I read it on the internet. I don't even remember where this in the movie where he says for the ones that die, he takes they're lacking a piece of themselves, the survival instinct.
Right.
That's the puzzle piece that he cut out.
Right.
But I don't remember that anywhere in the movies ever saying that.
He says it somewhere.
Maybe.
Not in the first one. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, the second one, it's just a calling card. It's just so you know it was the guy. Right. It was me.
Like the fucking elaborate death trap wouldn't be the giveaway, you know?
It's funny you forget that even in the first movie that wasn't even necessary. It was something that you looked at once and then they never went back to it again, right?
Except they named the whole fucking movie after it.
Right. That's what
I wasn't given that name. That's the name the media gave to me.
This whole series...
After I started taking out jigsaw puzzle pieces out of people. Why do they call me Jigsaw?
This whole series is... In which by the third movie, I think they're doing it on purpose, where they have a couple subplots where they never revisit, they never talk about it again, they never even get anywhere with it, and then the next movie will be like, hey, remember that subplot we never finished? Let's talk about it in this next movie, which at that point, now I feel like they're doing it, but they weren't in the beginning. Audio mix is still bad. The entire series is a terrible audio mix.
I feel like this is the first movie definitely did it. Just like everything else, like everything is being exacerbated in the sequel. Like the color correcting, it's just
everything's green.
I feel like maybe it's meant until the third one that it's really full on like that, but I feel like the second movie is like right out of the gate. This movie's fucking green. It's a green ass movie. Green and blue. You will watch this green and blue movie.
Yeah, every time you're in a torture room, it's green everywhere. I'm like, who fucking has green lights? Like, why would what? Tile's supposed to be white. I don't understand. You didn't white balance your camera. So this is Donnie Wahlberg just goes, "Hey, I know where he's at." Like, we go from, I don't even remember what happens, but they just, like, he's in this building, and they immediately just fucking swat the place. Like, there was no explanation for how they got from point A to point B. They're just like, I know he's here. And then they go, they find him, and he's there, and they're like, oh, you want to play a game? I have all these people in a house somewhere, and they're all going to compete to not die in 2 hours, and you got to listen to me talk to you, or else your son dies because your son's in the house.
Please talk to me. Nobody talks to me.
Yeah, so this one is like 7 people in a house. They're going to die within 2 hours because there's some poison in the air. And one of them is Amanda, the drug person, but she doesn't seem to be experiencing any side effects that everyone else is because, oh, she's in on it. She was there just as a control to help make sure that the whole thing ran together. And Donnie Wahlberg's, he's a detective, and his son's in the house. And these are all people that Donnie Wahlberg framed for crimes, even though they're all fucking bad people. Or is it assumed that Amanda never did drugs until she was falsely put in prison by him, and then she became a drug addict? I know if they find out that he's his son, then they're all going to kill him because they're like, your dad set me up, and fucking who cares? Fuck this movie.
This is the kind of thing where, like, when she jumps into the pit of, or gets pushed into the pit of needles.
Yeah, that's...
The needle in a needle haystack. And that's where I wonder, like, because you're just like, that's so fucking goofy. That's so fucking goofy that... This has to be a joke, right? Like,
right.
This is maybe the movies are at a point now where they're winking and nodding, and
let's get this straight. All these people they have in here, again, they're all not all. Okay, the girl who plays Mia in 2.5 Men at one point, she's in this. I don't even know what her actress name is or what her name is in the movie. She's like the pretty one.
She the one from Starship Troopers?
I don't remember her in Starship Troopers.
The girl, Dizzy.
She would be too young.
Dizzy Cordova. Yeah, I
can't imagine. She wouldn't have been that age.
Kind of look like her.
She's like the only one that's like halfway decent of like a person or like interesting character.
She's gonna get her rib cage ripped out.
She just dies from the poison. I feel like she's coughing really bad.
Oh, she's one of the contestants.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of one of the detectives.
You're thinking about the girl who looks like she's in the Felicity. Carrie.
Yeah, who looks like Dizzy Cordova.
Okay, that would make sense.
Starship Troopers.
I kept thinking, like, oh, it's Felicity, right? Or whatever her name is. Carrie Washington? Carrie Hilson?
Yeah, that's not her.
It looks like
she has a little bit more of a career than that. I don't know.
Yeah. But, you have this, like, guy who served time in prison, and he's just like, I'm just angry at everybody, and you get out of my way, and I'm going to kick my ass out of here.
Obnoxious.
Then you got the other guy who served time, but he's like, yo, man, chill out. I did time too, but fuck me. Then you have the fat guy who's just like, blah, 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 get out of here. And he gets shot in the face right in the beginning. And then you got the older, quieter guy. I don't fucking. They're all bad. Oh, then you got like another drug addict guy who turns out he had helped Jigsaw get all these people in here, but then got thrown out of the game himself. But he's not really an accomplice of Jigsaw. It seems like he just got paid to like human traffic these people around or something. Either way, they're all terrible. So when they die, you don't give a shit. And when they die, you're like, good, fuck them. When you get the bat to the brain, I don't care.
I feel there's always a problem with like low budget horror movies. They get this thing where it's a low budget, so we can have a lot of things happen. So we'll have a lot of talking, right? And
yeah.
So we'll have these plots where people are trapped in a house, or trapped in a thing, or trapped in a room.
I think it's called House of Nine. It's a movie about like there's like 9 people in a house. Yeah. Whoever survives, they go, and then you open the door and they go to another house full of 9 more people. It's like, oh fuck you, whatever. But the key there is like you have to have 9 interesting people. Or however many you have.
Right.
Cube has like one annoying guy, but most people are trying to get along and solve it together.
Like 4 people in Cube, I feel like, no more than that.
And only one of them is like, it's not Gary Busey, it's not Jake Busey either. I feel like there's a guy that's like, it reminds me of like Jake Busey from Tomcats. He's very like loudmouth, wearing a leather jacket or something. And he like pushes someone out of his way at some point to get some, I don't know. Those people have to be interesting, they have to be working together. This is just immediately like, I hope you all die. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard enough to write characters, so if you don't feel like you're the best writer of characters, like don't double down. You barely got 2 good characters out of the first one. They're not good, like, but at least they came off one of them at least came off like not hateable. And Kyle just broke his pop filter.
Yeah, okay. I fixed the pop filter.
Anyway, cut down on your characters. That's all. Don't have.
If that's going to be the central
point. Unless you're some master writer that does a really good job of, imbuing everybody with character quality in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. Well, like the 5th one has 5 people in it, and they're actually
Unless
more
you're James Cameron making Aliens, and you have characters that aren't even there for very long, a lot of them die, but they're all very memorable because they all have something to do.
Either way, it's bad. Okay, so they find Jigsaw in his lair, and he's like hooked up to a breathing machine and an IV. They're like, oh, we can't transport him. We got to get medical here. And he's like, oh, there's a game, and I want to talk to Donnie Wahlberg, and I have your son. I don't know why, but I felt like when I saw his son wake up in the thing, that it was all a flashback. That like he had previously kidnapped his son and done this. And then as the movie went on, I went, oh, that wasn't a flashback. That's supposed to be happening. I don't know. There's something about the cinematography that made me go like, oh, we're flashing back to something. And then it wasn't a flashback at all. I don't know why that was really...
It's only a flashback when you hear the music.
Yeah. Well, it turns out it was all a flashback because whatever. It was happening. It already happened all. They're looking at TV screens as something that already happened that they think is happening live.
Yeah. This is the most disorienting franchise time-wise.
Oh, God. I'll read the one at the very end. I'm going to read here's how it all happened. There's some really bad cinematography where Jigsaw is talking to Wahlberg, and the resolution's really bad. And I think it's what it is. They shot it, and then at one point they digitally zoomed in afterward to do close-ups. And the close-ups, you can tell they digitally zoomed in and didn't optically, zoom. It's like, whoa, why does this scene not match the scene I just saw? Like, literally camera cuts, and you're like, that looks really bad. And that one looks okay again. Like, they were doing weird panning zooms and stuff like that. That just, how is a professional, even if a low-budget movie, that was unprofessional, I had to say. It's fucking bad. Okay, so, in the house, guy turns the key in the door, and it shoots a guy in the face. They burn a guy in an oven for antidotes, but nobody got one. Could these characters be any more annoying and fake? It's just so over the top. Yeah, they're just so ridiculous. There's an antidote in this pile of needles, and he picks up the girl and just throws her in the pile of needles. Like, no one's going to do that. And go, hurry up, bitch! Give me the antidote!
Yeah.
First of all, if she finds it, she's not going to give it to you. She's going to inject herself. Like, it's frustratingly how stupid these characters are. But not because they're written in a way that makes you hate them. They're bad written. Another bad, terrible driving montage. The guy gets a bat with nails in the back of the head, hand in the box getting stuck. Someone get their hand stuck in a box?
Yeah, they did this thing where, like a Chinese finger trap style, where it doesn't make sense. If you put your hand, so the knives go this way, right? So, but then if you try to go this way, then it's not like I could describe this on fucking audio podcast anyway.
Describe it
barely
to me.
Do it visually.
Try to get me to remember. I don't remember what the hand...
It's like there's two hand things in a box.
Oh, it's like one of those...
She can't put her hands back down without cutting them.
It's like an incubator for a baby, and you're not supposed to touch it, so you have to put your hands in like the glove portion.
Right.
But instead of being able to pull it out, there were like pieces of glass that if you pull your hand back out...
Yeah.
Which if you'd use your other hand, you could like open them enough. Yeah.
Remind me of a... Oh, never mind.
What?
Okay, here you go.
What?
There's a book we read when we were a kid called Where the Red Fern Grows.
I've read,
and they hunted the raccoons. And then one of the things they did, you take something shiny and you put it in, you hollow out like a hole in a very specific way so there's enough room to make a fist inside the hole, but not enough room to make a fist and then pull your hand back out.
Yeah.
So the raccoon will go in to reach to grab the shiny thing, make a fist to grab it, and will not let go, but is too stupid to understand to like let go of it.
Yeah.
And that's how they would catch the raccoons.
I just remember that book where a dog dies and the other dog just goes out.
That's the saddest fucking thing ever.
The other one just goes out and lays there and dies.
Hey, Saw, you want to take some lessons on some real dark shit? You read Where the Red Fern Grows.
Okay, so there's numbers on the back of all their head. They're on their necks, which was obvious from the beginning. It says the numbers are in the back of your mind. You should think about it. Yeah, you wrote a number on the back of my head. Didn't realize that till later. Then he goes around and just kills everybody to try to find the number when he could just look. And then the only thing where it actually surprised me was she was like, how are you going to kill me, dumb shit? How are you going to read the number on the back of your head? And he just takes a knife and cuts off his own skin. I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool. Also, how would you know where to cut, But I was more thinking he's going to have to get a mirror or something like that or whatever. It actually surprised me, and I was like, that's a good idea.
Jigsaw made sure there was no reflective surfaces anywhere.
Yeah.
I guess you would need two reflective surfaces.
And then we end up at the scene of the first movie. We end up in the bathroom, or that shitty room where the Robin Hood and Adam were at.
Yeah.
Somehow. They end up down there.
Bathtub room.
But it's not. Oh, no, it is. It actually is that room. And then that's where the gangster guy gets killed somehow. She stabs him.
I don't know who kills him. He's going after the son, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we see Adam's dead body in there, all like rotted then it's been there for, months or whatever. So, okay, obviously he didn't get it out. Then The twist here was everything was taped ahead of time, and all Donnie Wahlberg had to do was just listen to Jigsaw talk for 2 hours, and the safe right next to him would have opened up with his son wearing an oxygen mask, and he was fine. But no, he just had to be a dickhead and try to solve the crime. He just had to try to force the serial killer to try to tell him where his son was at. Well, that's shithead dad, right?
Yeah.
Which he was. He was a shithead. But, at one point, he and Jigsaw take a car, and the SWAT team finds where the place is, and they go find it, and they go, oh, there's no bodies here. This is like a setup. It's like he has like 2 locations that are architecturally the exact same on the inside. One's, this house with the upstairs and downstairs. There's 2 of these that he somehow built, right?
Yeah.
And the SWAT team goes to the real one, or it goes to the fake one, and then Donnie Wahlberg goes to the one where everything was at, and he's looking for his son, and he gets down there, and then Amanda, stabs him with juice and then locks him up to the pipe just like the first movie, and then locks the door on him.
Sorry, I'm distracted because I just keep thinking about what a smug asshole Jigsaw is and how I want him to die.
And so it's like, oh, if you would just sit there and talk to Jigsaw like he told you. Because again,
if you just talk to me.
If you follow Jigsaw's rules and just listen to what he has to say, everything will be fine, which is not fucking true because he's a fucking liar. That's where I take umbrage with.
Let's take our umbrage over to the Jaws.
And then, it ends.
Saw 3.
It ends with Jaws. Amanda getting in the car with Jigsaw, and then this is the exact opposite of what Resident Evil the movie did. How it opened with this tiny little thing on the screen, and then it blew it up until it finally filled the frame. This one just literally takes the movie, takes the rectangle of footage, and zooms it out until you can literally see the border of the image in the blackness, and then just zooms out. Oh, fucking stupid college students. Anyways, Saw 3.
The sad truth is probably not. It's like as a guy like an old vet who's been making television or whatever for 20 years.
It was,
I don't know. I didn't look these guys up. It's the same guy who directed the second, third, fourth, fifth one. They didn't get a different director until the 6th one.
Darren Lynn Boozman, who directed 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
And 2, 3, and 4. Again, I looked up a lot of these guys. Most of them just work in other shitty. They worked on Feast, and they worked on Bloody Halloween, Valentine, whatever. None of them are accomplished anything in my mind. And from what I looked at on IMDb, Saw 3, 2006. Because
Saw 3D.
No,
that's
Saw
later.
3. Yeah, that's later.
They missed their opportunity.
The 7th one is 3D, which doesn't even have
Saw 7D.
But it doesn't even have 7. It's Saw 3D, the final chapter.
Right.
Which, that's terrible.
Hey, 3D was a big deal.
Yeah.
3D wasn't a thing. They would have been happy to call Saw 3 Saw 3D if 3D was a thing when that movie came out.
But the 3D one had barely any 3D effects in it. I think I saw it 2 times.
For a shamelessly exploitative movie series, I was surprised that the 3D wasn't just completely.
But all it did was make it look shitty because on 2D, it looks like a lot of the actors are standing in front of green screens because they're separated from the backgrounds in a way for 3D cinematography. It just doesn't look right later on in 2D, whatever.
Saw 3 has the guy from the opening of Dawn of the Dead remake in it.
Opening? Oh yeah. He's the lawyer. I had to look it up and go, this guy looks really
he's been in one good horror movie.
I go, he looks really familiar. He's the guy that, he just bashes his head into the bathroom and then punches the windshield.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one starts off literally, we pick up right at the end of Saw 2.
Who's the main character in Jaws 3? Jaws. Why do I keep saying Jaws? Because it sounds like Saw and Jaws, they have the same amount of letters. Or it's
no,
the
they
same
don't.
letters. But Jigsaw has J-A-W-S. In Saw 3, who's the main character?
I don't know because I don't remember anything that happened in Saw 3. I have to read my notes.
I think I could tell you. It's got a doctor in it. This is a surgery. This is a surgery movie.
Yeah. I mean,
This is the Amanda's Jealous movie.
There is no main character because they're all intertwined.
I mean, it was a rhetorical question.
Right, but
make a point.
I think the answer really is there isn't one.
I don't really think there was a...
You could say Amanda...
Could you say that Donnie Wahlberg was the main character in the last one? Could you?
His son was more of the main character in a way. Maybe the SWAT guy Rig, he's the real main character.
That's right. He's in this one too. Okay.
Okay, so this picks up, and Donnie Wahlberg's trapped, and he breaks his foot so he can get out of the ankle chains. And then he's like, fuck you, I'm going to survive. I'm going to get out of here and kick your ass. And then so he leaves, and you're like, okay, whatever. He's going to get out.
Yeah.
And we cut away. Nail bomb chain guy. So this guy in chains, and a nail bomb goes off. Oh, he's like chained to the floor through his arm, his feet, his mouth, and all kinds of shit. And he's got to pull the ring. Like he basically has to tear his skin.
Tear it out, yeah, with not nearly enough time to do it.
Which I don't know how he's going to do the one on his mouth. How do you tear it out of your jawbone? You physically.
Like Jigsaw's a fucking asshole. Like why do they have to do it in 30 seconds?
Right.
It's a very hard thing to do.
Even if you had.
All you did was you found out you had cancer, and yeah, that's a big deal. But like, I'll tell you what. Out of all the shit, all the things that he puts people through, I'll take cancer. Out of literally, if you gave me the choice, if you said I'll either give you cancer, and maybe you'll live, and maybe you won't. I don't know.
Right.
You will either die of cancer, you'll have to fight it. Maybe you'll survive it. Maybe you won't. Or I'll put you in this fucking Iron Maiden fucking twist your ankle around the other way around, thing, and maybe you'll make it, but if you do make it, it's gonna hurt a lot, and you're gonna be disfigured, possibly blind, you can't talk ever again, missing limbs. I'll take the cancer. Maybe I haven't learned my lesson. Jigsaw's gonna come after me now. Like I don't really.
Yeah, you should never actually talk shit about Jigsaw because they'll come get you afterwards.
You know what I mean? Like he's such a fucking asshole. Like he's such a little bitch. Like,
Tell me how you really feel.
I fucking hate him so much. He tries to kill himself, and then he decides he's going to start murdering people.
Yeah.
And so other people who try to kill themselves, instead of them being granted the same fucking, like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's so pedestrian. It's like, I know it's just a movie.
He's petty.
I know it's just a movie.
Yeah.
He's a fucking asshole. And I hope somebody he's dead. Nobody can take him out because he's fucking dead. He got to be right the whole time. It's just the Jigsaw is right. I fucking hate Jigsaw so much. It's just the Jigsaw is right all the time show. That's what it is. Every movie is just like, look at how much more right he was. I'm like, no, he's a fucking dick.
Also, his plans...
they always work all the time.
Well, he goes, as long as you can anticipate human thinking, they'll work. Yeah, his plans, okay, I can see how this would work or that would work. When you're like 17 steps, you have to say nothing went wrong in any of these for this to happen. Like by the end of the third one, or the fourth one, when the guy finds the body at the end of the third one and the door's there and he's like, hey, Agent Strom, how the fuck did you know this guy was going to show up? He's just like some random FBI guy. Whatever.
But you watch Michael Myers and you watch Jason, and like people say, I watch these because I enjoy, like I'm on their side.
Yeah.
I'm on the monster side killing people. But the thing is, the monster's a cipher. They don't have like a philosophy.
Right.
They're just a force of nature that you enjoy watching being a force of nature, Whereas like over here, it's just, I can't enjoy it on that level that maybe because he's a fucking asshole. All right.
You said that phrase so many times. YouTube is not going to let us monetize this video.
I know, right? All right.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah, so this guy has the chains in him, and then the nail bomb goes off, which is just a bomb full of shrapnel. But then the investigators come and they're like, whoa, why would he have done this? Because the door was welded shut. So even if he got out, he wouldn't have been able to actually get out. And you're like, oh, so Jigsaw is an asshole. But it wasn't really Jigsaw.
Is Amanda at this point doing these ones?
Yeah,
I think unfair traps that nobody can get out of?
She puts people in traps that they literally cannot get out of. Puzzles, not traps.
Puzzles.
So ridiculous. Okay, we have the FBI. Were they even in the last movie?
I feel like everybody's we
need that Matrix.
I feel like every character that's like a law enforcement agent in this movie should be introducing themselves as, I am FBI cop law enforcement man. Like it should just be like a generalized
So this one has. Oh no! It's Donnie Wahlberg's like partner or ex-partner. She's like, he's still alive out there somewhere. I'm gonna find him. Right? She has a camera in her closet that shows herself. She's looking at tapes. Again, we're still doing VHS tapes at this point, which is 2006. She's looking at a tape in her house. She's like, put it in the VCR, and she's like watching it to replay, like, I'm trying to get clues from the tape that he left for the person. And then it turns into a camera in her closet looking at her somehow from a pre-recorded VCR that she's,
That's kind of an interesting point. So because these movies happen over the course of, almost a decade.
I want to say 2 through 5 take place within like 48 hours.
Which is what I was going to say. It's interesting that if there was a lot of tech changes in technology in the real world,
right? You could,
but they had to continue to like put themselves in the mindset of being back in 2004.
2004 still had DVDs. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he's like,
he's a Betamax tape, and he's like, it was a good format. Like
there was one where there was an 8-track.
They should have never abandoned laser. I want to play a game. Also, they should have never abandoned Laserdisc.
There's an 8-track in like the Saw 3D or Saw 6 or something like that. They put an 8-track in the car. So she's like, oh, there's a camera in my closet. She gets her gun and she looks around. She's like, oh, there's a camera. Like, that's, And then, of course, the pig mask from, like, behind her knocks her out. Because, they got in her house while she was in her room, and they were in the room with her, and she had no fucking idea. And then, whatever, fucking stupid. It's just literally impossible the way they framed the camera angles. You're like, that's just can't happen. Again, it's a question mark. So the rules just don't matter now, I guess. The guy from Survival of the Dead shows up. The main.
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
Who was also in Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
Who was also in Diary of the Dead.
No, he was in Survival. Yeah, Survival. Yeah.
Survival
and Diary. Yeah.
He was in and Land. He was like short, really short, but he was in all 3 movies as like 3 different characters playing the same character.
Yeah, I made that note. Yeah.
So then the hot doctor saves the day because we got a hot doctor. Look at her. She's a sexy hot doctor.
A hot doctor in the room?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's what they say in the house. A hot doctor in the house.
Yeah. Every place, including the hospital locker room, is lit like a fucking migraine-inducing low-light garbage dump. So every room, everywhere you go, if you're at the police station and you're an interrogation room, if you're at the hospital locker room, every room is lit like there's a hobo hiding in the corner, covered in trash, like waiting to come out and pounce on you. There's no realistic environments in any of these movies. Even when you're in a realistic place, you're like, oh, this would look this way. Every room is just like this fucking. I would have migraines all day. I would have a headache 24 hours a day if I had to live in these lighting conditions. Okay. I didn't take enough notes on this movie.
I actually did take some notes, but we've already gone past those talking points.
Well, so this was about Jeff, the guy whose son was killed by a drunk driver or something like that.
Yeah. So there's kind of 2 narratives in this one. So you have your Dr. Amanda and Jigsaw in one room dealing with that shit. And then you have this guy who's being his test, this experiment, this moral experiment.
Can he forgive the people that are responsible or didn't help with the fact that his son got hit by a car?
This is where Jigsaw is moving into different territory. Is before this was all about rehabilitation, whereas now I don't know where he's going.
Right.
I don't know what he's doing. He wants to teach forgiveness. Okay, so who's being rehabilitated? Right. So now you're putting people's fate in other people's hands. Is that he's making this guy like Jigsaw? No, that I don't know what the fuck anymore. It's moved into some new weird territory that doesn't make any sense anymore.
Either way, Jeff has to go and confront all these people that either didn't call for help when his son got hit by a car, or didn't stop the drunk driver guy, or is the person that actually drove the car and ran into him or something. And he neglects his daughter because his son died. He doesn't pay enough attention to his daughter and his wife either. So he has to go through trials and save people, and they ends up saving.
This is the one with the pig gut pit.
There's a girl in a freezer and she's naked, and it sprays water on her until she turns into an ice cube, and he couldn't save her in time, and he burned his face. And what else? I don't remember.
There's the guy in the pit with the pig guts.
Oh yeah,
it's really gross.
So he's how many pigs does he have? Rotten pigs that he's like, oh, don't worry, I won't run out. Well, where do these movies take place? Where does he build these fucking contraptions?
This is the abandoned
meat factory.
Pig meat packing factory. Look, the Kramer family fortune was made in mannequins and meat packing plants.
Yeah, there's a guy. He's chained to the bottom of a big vat, and he puts the button, and then the machine next to him has rotting dead pigs dropped into a chopping up device.
That was actually out of everything in these movies, that was actually to me one of the grossest things to have to watch.
And all the rotten guts and whatever get turned into gray liquidy mush. And if he chops enough of these up, eventually the guy is going to drown in the pig waste guts rotting grossness. And so he has to find a key and then unlock him or something. I don't know if I can remember. What else? Who else does he encounter? He saves that one guy, and I think that's the only guy he ends up saving, who ends up dying at some point, I think, right?
Yeah, he has to. I don't remember how. I don't remember any of the other puzzles. So, also, we have Donnie Wahlberg, turns out, or no, we knew he was
Let's not go that far. So
we have the seesaw.
What?
There's a seesaw puzzle.
Really? Where? I don't remember.
With Donnie Wahlberg and Hoffman. He's on the ice block.
Is that this? No, that's not this movie. This is the next. That's the next one.
No, that's this one.
No, it's the 4th one with Rig. This is no.
Oh, you're right.
So this is the hot Indian doctor lady who I say that because she's really good looking. She's really pretty.
I didn't know what you meant when you said hot doctor lady. Thank you for explaining it to me.
I just wanted to, but it's one of those things that's like, it's a movie thing like, oh, let's cast this really good looking woman, but I'm like, she is really good looking. I can't help say that. She gets a bunch of shotgun shells around her neck that if Jigsaw's heart monitor drops to 0, they'll click them and then all the shotgun shells will blow up her head. So she has to operate on Jigsaw and relieve pressure on his brain from his tumor so that he won't die. But if he dies, she dies. So that's her incentive. And then Amanda's like constantly pointing a gun in her face and then threatening her, which is dumb because he's like, you need her to live. Amanda, you need to test and see if you can protect someone's life rather than take someone's life because you've been murdering all my people that I've been testing. Because then we find out, Amanda set up some traps where people couldn't live. She went and killed Donnie Wahlberg. She went and killed Adam, who was going to die anyways.
Donnie Wahlberg's not dead.
Well, he is now.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No. Well, then
what?
That's him with the leg brace on the ice cube.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
She locked him in there. No, wait. She tried to kill him, but he fought his way out.
Off.
Yeah, and then
she fucked up his foot real good again, like kicked it or something.
And then what? Then Jigsaw went and got him?
Yeah, I guess.
Or the other guy, or the lawyer guy?
No, they wouldn't have been Hoffman.
Maybe. You don't know.
It was probably the guy who had the neck, the guy from Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Which is fucking cares?
How convoluted this shit is. Okay, all right, so the doctor has to save. She cuts Jigsaw's head open. She saves his life. He's not dead yet. And then finally, the twist here is that Amanda was being tested to make sure that Lynn would stay alive, because Lynn was seen originally with some guy in bed, and they were like, "Oh, it's not working out." Whatever. Turns out that wasn't her husband. That was some guy that she was cheating with, who was the guy from Survival of the Dead. And the guy being tested in the other room was her husband. I don't know why Amanda shoots Lynn, the doctor.
Like she didn't like her.
It was like really stupid that she just shot her, and then she was pregnant, so that killed her and the baby, which made Jigsaw angry.
So fucked up, bro.
And he knew that Jeff would win his trials, come in with the one bullet in the gun, and then shoot Amanda because he's like, "Oh, you killed my wife. I have to kill you." That's how Jigsaw knew.
Kyle, don't you understand? If you know human nature, you can predict
If you're
everything.
a civil engineer, you know human nature really good.
People are just buildings.
They're just like cement.
They're just streets and traffic lights.
So Jeff kills Amanda, or shoots her, and then she dies. And then the FBI, Strom, wait, I don't even know because they're so convoluted.
Strom ends up in this movie, and I don't remember how. Because and
he goes, "You can forgive me." He tells Jeff, Jigsaw tells Jeff, "Call I can get an ambulance here for your wife.
Yeah.
Save her life. If you forgive me, I'll get you an ambulance. We'll all live together in harmony."
Buzzsaw.
But then he goes, "I forgive you," and then proceeds to cut his neck open with a buzzsaw. What was the point of saying "I forgive you" and then killing him? Why did he even say "I forgive you" and then kill him? Obviously, you didn't. Whatever. So he kills Jigsaw.
He said, "April Fools." Oh shit, wrong movie. Sorry.
Kills Jigsaw. This has the really, really, really long recap that was literally minutes long. Terrible music.
How much percentage better would this movie have been if he had said "I forgive you" and then right before he kills him, he just said "psych"?
I don't know. At one point, there was a cassette tape on the tray next to his bed that he poured candle wax on that went nowhere. They didn't do anything with.
Well, that's the next movie.
Right, but here's what I'm saying. You watch these.
You don't understand. These movies are like Jigsaw himself, Kyle. These movies are as meticulously crafted and planned out. You're not seeing the bigger picture. You're not seeing the grand master plan.
I wrote a note that says, "More terrible music, but at least an attempt to stop the franchise here." You could tell that they was like, we're wrapping up a trilogy of movies. This is all over. Jigsaw's going to be dead. The doctor's going to be dead. Once the doctor dies and he dies, Jeff gets locked in the room, so he's going to die because he's stuck in there now. He can't get out. So this was like, oh, we're wrapping it up all nice and neat, but then it was like, there's that cassette tape with the wax on it that we never talked about and some other thing that we didn't ever, whatever. But I could see that they were trying to say this is like the last one, right? Mm-hmm. I wrote, silly writer-director, you think a studio is going to allow that with this much money on the line? Yeah, but I could tell that they were trying to, like, this was like, oh, this is the last one. And then sophomore comes. Next year, 2007.
So my first note is
Same director.
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw?
Yeah, Jigsaw. So I saw that and I went, well, is this because I hate him and I'm calling him Jigsaw now?
Do they show him his dick in the
there's
autopsy?
a fucking penis. In
I don't
that
know
shot.
why I didn't notice it. I'll tell you where there's some penis. Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning.
Oh, yeah.
There was some sex in there, and the guy comes with a shotgun, and there's just like dong flying everywhere. It was intense.
I was going to try to make a Saw joke, but I'm all out.
All right, so we start with the autopsy of Jigsaw. So he's actually dead.
Yeah, my note just says, well, ... he dead.
Yeah, and then this is where like me looking at that poster of Saw 3D going like, I assume he's going to come back in someone else's body or it's all something, but they cut his brain out in an autopsy. And
Can you just pull somebody's brain out like that? That's just that easy. He just pulls it out.
I
They
mean,
cut the top of his head off.
yeah.
And then he just reaches in with his hand and just...
Well, maybe he had a scalpel, and he's like,
No, he did not have a scalpel. He just reached at the base of the thing and just like, this didn't seem very academic to me. And also not, I don't know anything about human anatomy. It seems like it'd be hard. It's attached to your spine. Like,
Yeah.
It shouldn't be something you can just pull out of somebody's head. Anyway.
I wrote, it feels dumb because it then is all planned to make a movie after killing Jigsaw, so false wrapping up of a trilogy on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're wrapping up a trilogy, but not really on purpose. Rather than like, you ever feel the movie where it's like, we made a movie. They want you to make a sequel, and they're like, well, how do we make a sequel? That movie is standalone, and they find a way to kind of make a sequel. And you're like, okay, good.
Movies.
Huh?
You don't know this yet, but like the Planet of the Apes movies.
Planet of the Apes movies. But again, like that's where good, filmmaking comes in. And it's just like, oh, Matrix was never supposed to have sequels, but they found a way to do it. Regardless if you like it or not, it wasn't like, oh, we had a thread here that we just left undone, Now they're just constantly leaving shit in there. It's just like, well, if some other writer or director wants to make another movie, here's something they can start with.
Right.
They find the cassette tape that he swallowed that was covered in wax in the stomach, and they call the FBI, and Hoffman shows up. Or is Hoffman even FBI?
I think Hoffman
Hoffman is not FBI.
No. And Strom is, I think, like Internal Affairs or something.
No, he's
No?
FBI.
Okay.
The
Who fucking cares?
Internal Affairs is like number
Interchangeable.
5 or 6.
All right.
When jail finally gets it. And there's a cassette there, and it's for the guy who shows up. Like, he just knew that they're going to call this guy. Well, actually, I guess so, because turns out this guy is an accomplice of his all
Wait,
along.
he knew this guy already at
Yeah.
this point. It's confusing.
This whole movie takes place before the autopsy that the movie
Right.
starts with.
Right.
That you don't find out until the end. It doesn't feel organic and means any and all consequences are worthless. The viewer cannot take anything at face value. It's why things like Inception are good movies and these are lame, at least from a writing perspective. Because in Inception, they can kind of just bend rules and do what they want, but you're engaged and they're not going to fuck you over. Here, it's just like, oh, they said something's going to happen, but they don't have to follow their own rules. So why should I give it, as a viewer, why should I give a shit what you say?
I feel like the only way you can engage with it in any kind of positive way is saying to yourself, I know that's what they're going to do, and try to predict how they're going
Right.
to. That's what I mean.
Or
like,
I want to watch torture porn. I just
Right.
want to watch that part, right? I mean,
pretty much. I mean,
Realistic.
that's number one. I feel like
I'm a NASCAR fan.
if I'm trying to give anybody,
I just want to
any
watch
kind
the.
of-
I just want to watch the car crashes.
If I'm going to give somebody any kind of intellectual credit, it would be like seeing the formula and just enjoying, like,
Yeah.
reveling in, like, how will they execute the formula this time? Oh, you try to guess,
Yeah.
like, I wonder what, all right, I didn't know they would do that.
But this, and it's funny because this is the one I have so many notes for, and I fucking hated this movie. It's funny that I put the questions out there on Instagram, like, hey, if you got any questions about Saw, ask us. And the first one I got was, how much do you hate Saw 4? And I was like, how did you fucking know?
You're about to find out
Yeah.
how much Kyle hates Saw 4.
I'm guessing that people probably all kind of panned this one universally. I don't know.
Well, I've heard people call the first 3 the trilogy.
Trilogy.
So,
yeah.
like, they all went downhill after the third one.
This was like a take of like, hey, special effects exist now, right? We can do special effects. We can do CGI. So let's just fucking overuse it. With those stupid transitions. This one starts then with the first trap of a guy who has his eyes sewn shut and a guy who has his mouth sewn shut, both chained to like a motor in the middle. So the blind guy can't hear the other guy talk because the guy can't talk, and he can see the guy's blind, but he can't, whatever. They get into it, and one guy, the mouth guy, kills the other guy to save himself. And then he proceeds to just rip the stitches out with his mouth without using his hands. He just goes, "Mwah," and opens his mouth. Why didn't you just fucking do that in the beginning?
Because it'll be gross, dude.
What do you mean?
Gross.
It was gross.
We'll do this autopsy, but the script says autopsy scene. And then the director or producer or somebody goes like, show them cutting Jigsaw's body open for like 10 minutes. Like it's.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just.
I'm just saying in general. Like they take any opportunity to gross you out, like anywhere they possibly.
I just
can.
know it's just that once he kills the guy who can't see, he then proceeds to just. He doesn't use his hands. He doesn't use any tools. He just strongly rips the stitches off of his mouth and opens it up and goes, "Ah!" He could have just done that right in the very beginning and be like, "Hey, blind guy, I can talk now."
Oh, I see.
There was no point in showing him even ripping the stitches out of his mouth unless he used the tool afterwards or something like that. It just, again, that made no sense. It was a good idea for another puzzle. It's like he can't see and he can't talk. So but again, this goes to dumb characters. He just automatically assumes the guy who's going moo, 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 is his enemy, and I must fight this guy.
Yeah.
It's fucking like, go here, turn around. Let me write the letters on your back. You'll know what I want to say. I don't know.
One of those.
We're back to the characters from Saw 2.
Nice. Huh.
Yeah, you're giving me a massage and you're talking to me at the same time. I said we're back to characters from Saw 2. I was never interested in the SWAT guy. He's just the guy, the SWAT team leader. Now all of a sudden he's the main character.
Everybody gets a turn.
Yeah. He was literally just someone to help open doors and gave a tiny bit of exposition. Now he's the main character. With a slapdash wife visiting her mother backstory. Oh, didn't you know he's married and she's going to see her mom? And they're mad at each other? Like, who fucking cares? I don't care. I don't even know who this fucking guy is. I don't know anything about him. Fuck him. I don't care. I'm gonna drink some water. It's so boring. This is the one with the game in his house where he gets like attacked in his own house, and then if you want to talk about that,
I thought it was just like taking a shower. He woke up and they just like filled his entire apartment up with traps, puzzles, whatever. So this is the puzzle, the puzzle where the girl in her ponytail is tied to a thing.
If your hair was being ripped out by a machine,
wouldn't it just pull your hair out?
Yeah, wouldn't it just like kind of rip part of your scalp off? But you wouldn't like die or anything, right?
No, I don't think so. Well, it doesn't technically. Oh, well, she gets out of he does get her out.
Yeah. And then she attacks him because her cassette tape, had said like a cop's going to come save you, but if he's going to put you in jail if you don't kill him afterwards.
And he's a seasoned SWAT officer, but he can't seem to disarm a woman with a knife who's with a head injury.
But it's kind of cool because he grabs her fucking scalp and just rips her whole scalp off, but then I guess she dies because of it? I don't know.
So this is a whole dumb thing where what is the lesson he's trying to teach him? He neglects his family because he's obsessed.
He's trying to solve crimes, and that's a bad thing.
It's because he's obsessed with
doing the right thing.
And that's bad.
Yeah. He must be tested. I, the person who decides between life and death, who I have the moral obligation to decide who should be tested and not. You are too good, sir. I must test you.
Did I mention how much I hate fucking Jigsaw?
You hate it when he fucks?
Which will be fun.
Wait. Does Jigsaw fuck?
No, he does not fuck. He decidedly does not fuck.
Do you think he gets his rocks off watching these people's heads explode?
Oh. It's kind of like...
Please don't do it. Don't get the key. God damn it. I was going to come. And
he's so fucking lame. He's a fucking nerd. Fucking nerd. I don't remember what I was gonna say. The next thing I remember is he's in a seedy hotel and there's the guy who was like raping women and bed puzzle.
The Felicity character, she gets in the rib ripping machine and she gets the key and unlocks it, but then she dies anyways.
I thought that was in the second one because that was one of Amanda's.
No, it's in this one. It's already happened in this one.
All right. I think that's the murder that they discover at the beginning of the third one. She gets fucked up in the second one because that's one of the ones that Amanda, this does not matter.
I think you're right, but what it is in this one, we find out why it happened is because Amanda wasn't letting people live.
You're right, that's what I mean.
And then Rig shows up and's like, then they find a bullet in her body that has Rig's fingerprint on it.
Something like
that. Which
I
don't know that people can identify bullets for inside bodies that have been deformed. I don't know.
So this is another one of those ones. Is there another person that's being tested, or is it just this? Is it just him?
Well, everyone. So his whole thing is he's going around, like he goes to the motel, and you get the guy who ties up women and rapes them, and maybe murders them, but maybe doesn't. I don't know. Or he just pays for hookers that he ties up. I can't really tell. And
he gets eye-scythed.
Yeah, it's the guy has to then cut his own eyeballs out, which it would have been better if he cut his own dick off, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like your eyeballs have led you astray. No, wouldn't his dick lead him astray? Because he wants to like harm women and rape them and stuff.
They have a little bit more self-respect for this franchise than to
cut a dick off, right?
They did. I mean, yeah, they got their one. They only get one dick dick shot. They already used it.
Either way, he's testing Rig, and what Rig has to do is go around and kidnap people and put them in a test. And the whole point is Rig's like, oh, these are bad people who have committed crimes, so I shouldn't feel guilty about this at all.
Right.
But he also said if you just stay at your home, like, don't go looking. And it's true, though, because what happens is that after the chick in the house, her hair rips off, he leaves his apartment. There's nothing forcing him to do any of the stuff.
You know who else Jigsaw's like?
Who's he like?
He's like that thing, where somebody, they take their finger and they point it at you just like a few millimeters away from your face.
I'm not touching you.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. You can't do anything to me because I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Like that.
Yeah.
That's also what Jigsaw's like.
He's like my 5-year-old.
Every time I think of something that Jigsaw's like, I'm going to, tell you about it. Okay.
But yes, so the whole thing here is that Rig is like, if you weren't being obsessed with trying to solve this crime or solve this thing, everything would be fine. But because he wasn't being forced. He literally could have left his apartment and just gone to Canada or like went and got his girlfriend or his wife from her mom's house, but he chose to solve the crime.
How ironic.
It's Alanis Morissette shows up, sings a song, and he doesn't understand the lyrics. He's like, but if I had a spoon and a knife, I don't.
I didn't know where the fuck you were going with that. I was like, oh, right, okay.
He drives past a wedding and it's raining, and he's like, I don't get it.
Just shout out to Alanis Morissette. And
it's.
Because I know
I don't know why I laughed.
I just want to say, that's a good fucking song. I like that song. Fuck you to all the people that go, actually, that song's bullshit because there's a whole bunch of stuff in it. It's not irony.
They're not irony.
Okay, all of them. Every single fucking... You want to get at me on this? Like, let's do it, okay? If I get anything from my years of, like, rhetoric and writing essays and dramatic this and literature and all this kind of shit... It's fucking irony. She gets a pass. It's a good fucking song. It can be called ironic. It's aptly called ironic. Okay, that's it.
I bought Jagged Little Pill on cassette tape.
It's a good album.
When I was whatever age I was when I bought it. Cassette tape, everybody. Cassette tapes. There's these things that have...
Stop being ageist. Wait, what did they call it? Stop being... They had a
some
name
word
for it.
that I'd never heard
Somebody
before.
got upset with us for making fun of people for not knowing what CDs are.
Yeah. No, cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes, something.
Not only that, the ones in the Jigsaw movie aren't even regular cassette tapes. They're like the ones for a phone recorder, like a tape recorder for a phone, which that's a fucking thing of the relic of the past. You used to call someone's phone and your voicemail was left on a cassette tape, but it was a mini cassette tape in a separate machine next to the phone.
They should have had one of those like microphone pens. You remember those? That should have made an appearance somewhere.
Is there anywhere in this movie where there's a guy with a pen and has a video camera in it?
No.
It must be some other thing I watched recently. He's like, I'm recording from this pen. Oh, it was Vice Principals. Never mind. Okay.
What movie are we on?
4.
Okay.
We'll get through it. We're only like a little over 2 hours. Like 1 hour left and we're cutting it off. Okay. So, yes, Rig is going around putting people in traps that Jigsaw's created to keep going to try to solve the crime. Donnie Wahlberg is standing on a piece of ice that if he falls off the ice, he'll die from a noose. And the Hoffman is in the...
because you... have seen Saw. You see Saw.
Yeah.
So there's a seesaw.
Yeah. So Donnie Wahlberg's on a piece of ice. And
but do you understand?
On the other side of the seesaw, Hoffman's in a chair because he somehow got there.
We don't know who he is yet, right? Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah. He's the one who plays the autopsy tape in the beginning.
All of this is being orchestrated by Dawn of the Dead guy.
Even though Jigsaw's dead, because the Jigsaw's actually orchestrating it. Okay, who's physically doing it? The Dawn of the Dead guy. Who set all this up? Jigsaw. Yes. Before he fucking died.
But also Hoffman is already in cahoots with Jigsaw at this point.
But again, Jigsaw. It's all Jigsaw's master plan.
We don't know that yet.
Amanda's doing shit on her own.
Oh, I kind of like the Don that Donnie Wahlberg tries to kill himself.
Okay, well, let's get... They're on a seesaw. He's on a block of ice. The ice will melt within 90 minutes. Donnie Wahlberg's hanging from the neck on this block of ice, barely able to kind of get his feet on it. And if he falls off, the seesaw will tilt. The water from the melting ice will go to the side where Hoffman's at, and some electrical cables will then electrocute him because his feet are stuck there in a chair. And at one point, Donnie Wahlberg just tries to go, fuck it, I'm just going to end it myself, and jumps off, and the Dawn of the Dead guy's, God damn it, you asshole! Yeah. He puts it back on the block. He's like, don't. And it's funny because they're kind of... What's true about this?
It's almost like spiritually he didn't want to be in the movie anymore. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like, fuck this. This is so fucking stupid and bad. Yeah. I know. And somebody's like, no. Play by the rules.
I mean, this movie physically looks better. It's shot like it has a little bit. It's not as grainy, which I like film grain in movies, but you could tell that the film stock they must have used is a little bit more modern, or I don't think digital was really ready at this time. This is like 28 Days Later was like an early digital film that looks like fucking shit now, unfortunately. Like, there's no good version of 28 Days Later because it was shot in super, super early digital. It's always going to look like garbage now, unfortunately. But, well, I don't know what's going with that. So anyways, it looks good. He tries to kill himself. The guy's like, no, just wait for the guy to show up. He's like, just, you don't want the other guy to come here. Just wait for the timer to show up. You'll be fine, right? And the Dawn of the Dead guy's got a thing on his back of his neck that will cut his spine off if he pushes this button too early or the guys die or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're all in it together. They're all like, hey, you need to survive because I need to survive. So let's do this together. I had this weird thing where they just find out Hoffman is a person Jigsaw is targeting. And the guy asked the SWAT guy if he's got a 20 on him. And I wrote, the dude literally just found out to look for a guy, and he expects the SWAT guy, are you watching Hoffman? You literally found out 10 seconds ago that you should be looking at Hoffman. And he's like, why the fuck where's Hoffman at? It was just one of these weird things where like the writing didn't match up and didn't make any sense. He goes, oh, Jigsaw's looking for Hoffman. Hey, SWAT guy, don't you got a 20 on Hoffman?
Well,
he's like, yes, sir, I'll find out in a second.
That's like Plinkett says. You know, well, you haven't watched that stuff yet, but
I've come around on Plinkett. I've completely come around on that. I watched the whole Star Wars thing.
It's like an ongoing thing when they do the prequels where it's like, wait, how did you know the thing? Did you read the script? Did everybody read the script? You know, as if the characters in the movie had the script.
Yeah. Anyways,
is this movie over yet? Is the music started playing?
The four walls build a home thing. There's pictures on the walls, and you get one picture from each side of the wall, and the four walls build a home. What the fuck is he talking about?
I don't remember that. I must have been checked out.
They tried to make some cool elaborate puzzle with this photographs and the Jill tucks on each one of his ex-wife's pictures and each one, and four walls build a home. What?
Jigsaw's a dork.
I said, what is this Dale Cooper shit?
Jigsaw.
What is this FBI?
Jigsaw's like.
This FBI agent just walks in and is like, I know how to solve this puzzle because I had a Tibetan mind dream, right? Like, this is fucking Twin Peaks. This is Twin Peaks, but not good.
It's not Twin Peaks. It's not even not good Twin Peaks.
It's not David Lynch Twin Peaks. It's Mark Frost Twin Peaks. It was like the writing character part, but none of that shit works good in here.
I want to say I feel like if Jigsaw's the kid in the class that says stupid shit that you're always telling to shut up.
I knocked some stuff over.
He's like Donnie in The Big Lebowski. So everybody, shut up, Donnie. Shut up, Donnie. Yeah. Well, you know, four walls build a home. Shut up. Shut up, Jigsaw. Nobody cares.
Why is everyone always yelling at people to let them go and cussing at them? Is that really going to help them accomplish anything in the middle of a trap when everyone's stressed out? There used to be a game show where they put like fire next to you and they checked your heart rate, and you could only win the quiz round if your heart rate was below a certain amount. And they'd like, spiders are close to you, and they would monitor your heart rate and shit.
Really?
Yeah. This kind of thing
was
like
a Nickelodeon show? Or
no, it was on Fox. Like a good
Fear Factor?
Is probably because of Fear Factor.
Fear Factor's coming back.
It already is back. Ludacris is rocking that shit, right?
You know when there's a movie when that did work? When somebody yells at another person like, fuck you, leave me,
what?
It's from a movie that's good and better than this one. Did you ever see The Frighteners?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah. I don't remember the scene, but I liked Frighteners.
That had Jeffrey Combs. Remember Jeffrey Combs is in it? From Reanimator?
Yeah.
And he's like the crazy FBI agent.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got, I don't remember who, the actress, like, it's not Andie MacDowell, what's her name? The actress? Something McDowell?
It is Andie MacDowell.
Is it Andie MacDowell?
I think so.
I don't know what
I could look it up on the internet, but I don't want to reach forward anymore.
Anyway, he doesn't like being yelled at. Like, that's his whole deal.
Yeah.
So there's like one point where she's like, fuck you, let me go. And he's like, oh, and he has to get out of the car and like get away and like meditate for a second. Anyway. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just talk about The Frighteners instead of continuing to talk about these movies?
I assuming they're interrogating his ex-wife. I wrote, why all this interrogation shit is boring and seems useless. It's a bunch of dialogue that's not actually saying anything. It's just padding and a lame excuse for a story. It just fucking like...
It's just plot.
Let me just ask you, but she's like literally asking questions he's like, we've already answered.
This is the thing where people think plot and story are the same thing, and they're not. Or that people think... This is like when people... They watch... I've heard people...
By people, we mean you.
I hope it's not you. When people... They watch Fury Road, and they go... They don't like it. Or they think it's bad. You know, they don't get it. And they go, there's no story. That's what they say. There's no story. And what they really mean is that they falsely, in their minds, think that more plot equals good story.
Right.
Here is a perfect example of something. Show this to somebody and go, look at how much fucking plot is this in this son of a bitch. Now you tell me, is there any story here? There's tons of plot. But can you tell me what the story is?
Right.
Because I can tell you what the story of Fury Road is quite succinctly, and it's powerful, strong backbone of a story.
Right. A lot of it filled
without very much plot.
And a lot of it filled in with the you get to see a little bit in the distance there. You're like, that's interesting. That must mean, this world must have all these things in it that they're not telling me, but I get because they're showing them.
Anyway.
More bad camera acting.
Another movie I wish we could talk about instead.
The whole salvation at your own hands shit is getting old. At this point, it's just taking criminals and making them live through their victims and hurt themselves as redemption. It's a voyeur chained to a bed so he cuts his eyes out. Like, it's just, you need to be punished by what you did to your victims. That's not even what he does. It's just breaking all the rules.
Right. At this point, it's just like,
Okay. Let's get to the fucking transitions. This is the one where...
So my note is, so these cuts, huh?
How do we even describe these?
I wasn't even talking about the deadly traps. Waka, waka, waka.
Waka. The first one I remember is when he's fighting the girl with the hair in his apartment, and he throws her at like a mirror, and it breaks.
Yeah, I remember
but she could goes through the mirror, and then it screen wipes around her body. Now that we're like in the interrogation room at the jail.
Yeah.
At the
There's
thing.
another one where it's just literally a guy just walking by the screen, and his body becomes a screen wipe.
Yeah. It's one of those things where they do it once. You're like, okay, someone learned how to do this in Premiere.
Right. Hey, look at this. Yeah, and somebody goes, huh, and that's about it. that's as far as that should go.
And he's just like, this is so fucking cool. Edgelord, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it again. Think I can do it 4 times? Fuck yeah, I'm going to do it 4 times. It's so fucking
Actually, it takes kind of a long time to do it, so we're just going to do the 4.
Yeah. It's bad. The lawyer that rented the motel room has a bunch of properties. His last known address is a fucking basement shithole. That makes no sense. Oh, it's because it was all a plan because he's actually working with Jigsaw. Fuck you. I said you couldn't find a better way to end up at some storage area. You could have like, we found he owns a property and it's a storage area. It's like, no, he lived in a basement. Fucking stupid. It's all a game. So we're testing Rig to get over his obsession by trying too much good stuff, by using a guy who wants to get back at him for being a bit of a dirty cop who was just mad that the system was helping an abused child. But it's okay for the mouth sewed up guy to exact revenge somehow. The lines are blurred regarding salvation and revenge and obsession at this point. It's lost its way. It started with self-help. Now it's just punishing people as disguised as help. But you're helping bad people by teaching them a lesson to pay for their sins, but that doesn't change their behavior or their mind or absolve their sins. It's just like, hey, cut your eyes out. It's cool that you raped all those chicks. You're a good guy now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not forcing them out. The beginning was about, do you want to survive? Do you want to live? How much do you value your life? Now it's just, hey, you put your penis in a girl in a way that she didn't like it, so you got to cut your eyes out. But we're cool. That's all you have to do. The drug addict, Amanda in the beginning, was the one that really made sense. She was trying to kill herself. And he said, do you really want to kill yourself? And it turns out she really didn't want to kill herself. Now she values her life. Everything else is just punishment.
Yeah, I mean, this is pushing him further into the 7 territory where, again, like it's not the first murder. The first murder they show you in 7 is the guy who gets fed to death. And that wasn't
7 in a long time, so.
You should rewatch 7. It's a really good movie.
I like David Fincher. I should. Okay, so they go to school, and there's a lady with the things in her, and her husband's abusive. And
Good point.
And she has to pull the rods out of her body, which will make her husband bleed to death, which she actually...
I forgot about that.
But she likes it because she's like, fuck my husband, he's an asshole. So what was her lesson? Just that she had to go through pain to get rid of him? There's more bullshit exposition, more twists, emotional story. It's fucking dumb. Movies don't work when all you do is keep flipping the script because it's shocking or you're fucking with the audience. It's hackney. It's like a conspiracy theorist's poor attempts to connect the dots with magic or bullshit. I was going to say that earlier and I never finished my point. That's why I don't like fantasy, right? The wizard just goes, it's like what you said with the kids in the G.I. Joes. They're like, I shot you with the thing, but oh no, there is magic that stopped it, right? Magic always lets you find your fucking way out.
Yeah.
How do we solve this? Magic, I don't know. He conjured a new spell.
The magic of convoluted plot.
Yeah, this is not that. You can't do that here. It should have been called Saw 4 Origins. because this feels like this is all about how he turned into Saw, right? Wait, that's not even the one. Is this the one that even has the guy, Cecil?
No, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay, so I wrote down he's a libertarian who says you play the cards you're dealt, but all he does is punish people who do bad things or don't appreciate life. So if they play the hand they're dealt, he still punishes them, so his views are completely contradictory. Like you said, Batman beats up poor people. They're not always criminals. Sometimes they're just put in bad situations and they don't have a choice. Jigsaw's like, fuck you, I don't care. You should have been a better person.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Again, if you had somebody who actually had like a fucked up existence or like a fucked up, like I've been through all these things and I appreciate life.
Yeah.
I'm going to be, you were a cushy civil engineer with fucking fuck you. Like,
I'm sorry that the guy tried to steal the drugs and made your wife have a miscarriage. Now you hate the whole world.
It just bothers me that his crucible is like, it's a lot by like most people's standards, but compared to the things that he's putting people through,
right, yeah.
All of the shit that you went through in your life, Mr. Kramer, Jigsaw guy, take all that and it's dog shit. It's nothing compared to everybody else is a tougher person. You
got in a car accident.
That survives
you got in a car accident that you caused because you wanted to kill yourself,
right?
And then you're proud of yourself that you got yourself out of the car and pulled the piece of steel out of your stomach that nobody forced you to do.
Everybody's story, anybody that survives any of these things has a more traumatic story than you do automatically. So I guess you kind of gifted them that, but like they're all tougher and better people than you. That's all.
Yeah. Stop trying to explain Saw and all its bullshit. Just makes the horror movie you started with. Just make the horror movie that you started with and stop this lame attempt to have meaning because you're bad at it. If you were good, then fine, but you're not.
Yeah.
That's what my message to the writer is. If you were better at this, I would take it. You're not good enough to do this.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I'm so desperate for the movies to just like, not devolve, that's a bad word, but like just embrace how dumb all this is at this point and can they just be more fun at this point? Like have more fun,
yeah,
you know, with the whole thing. I guess this is where I want to talk about Hostel. So it's been a long time since I've seen the Hostel movies.
Can we finish this movie first and then talk about Hostel?
Okay.
I just want to get through. I hate this movie. This is the worst one in the series.
Are we still on 4?
Yeah, we're still on 4. I told you I have a lot of notes.
All right.
Because this is where it all kind of came to a head, and I was like, they're never going to change. They're never going to get out of this stupid formula that they have. I thought,
Saw movies need to be put into a jigsaw puzzle so they can learn.
Because I said, like, they'll
never change unless they.
It's convoluted at this point. Okay, so is this all happening during the timeline of 3? Which I wrote, big fucking whoop of a twist. And everyone is dying, but for most of them it really doesn't matter. He wanted to teach Rig to just let people die and let it go. You're teaching the cop who wants to do good in life, you're supposed to just let people fucking die. That was his lesson. Let it go, let him die. What the fucking stupid lesson is that? I get not trying to save everyone, but he punishes him for literally trying to save anyone. Okay. So when he finally gets to the room with the fucking ice block and everything, he like looks at the ceiling and sees the ice and the lines, and I'm like, what the fuck? I have no idea what you're trying to show me until it actually happens. You're like, okay, don't go through the door. Didn't you remember earlier when that one cop said don't kick open a door? Didn't you fucking listen? Like, just little, this is the recap part. The music's kicking in and all that shit, and he busts through the door, but Donnie Wahlberg tries to shoot him to stop him. Because in the ice blocks in the sky that aren't melting, I guess, they're just up there hanging out. They fucking smashed Donnie Wahlberg's head, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And then he breaks through the door with a gunshot, and then he shoots Dawn the Dead guy, and Dawn the Dead guy's like, fucking stop! What are you doing? I'm going to reach into my bag here and pretend that I'm reaching for a gun, even though I'm not. I couldn't just say out loud to you, hey, don't shoot me. There's a cassette tape here for you. You're being tested. He says, you're being tested by Jigsaw. And he's looking like he's going to get a gun. So fucking Riggs shoots him right in the face. And now he's dead. And then Hoffman's over there by himself with the water pooling up. And he's like, "Rrr!" And then he doesn't die because I guess Hoffman was fucking in on it the whole time. So none of it mattered. None of it fucking mattered. Because that guy was fucking lying. He was not even in trouble or in danger. Okay, but I wrote, the other detective was in on it, ? Which is Hoffman. It literally says by reaching them early, he caused their deaths. That's what the cassette tape says to Rig, who's now bleeding to death, whatever. But Hoffman isn't dead. So Jigsaw says in here, you just killed all these guys in the room, even though one of the guys in the room is not fucking dead. Again, why is this so poorly written? You can't say. Anyways, so I said, was the electricity a ruse, or just maybe it didn't work? Like maybe the electricity failed to work. We see he's in on it by writing Amanda a letter, but he said he's dead on the tape. Like, it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. Then he locks the FBI guy in the freezer, who just showed up and shot Jeff, the guy from the third movie, who was going to die in the freezer. And then now the FBI guy is now stuck in the freezer, or the room that Jigsaw was dead in.
Strom,
yes. The Strom is the FBI guy that kills Jeff, the guy from 3, who just... So, again, this whole movie took place during the events of 3. Jeff cuts Jigsaw's neck open, Lynn's head blows up, and like a minute or two later, Strom walks in and shoots Jeff because Jeff points a gun at him for no fucking reason. Where's my daughter? I don't know. Who's your fucking daughter? Who are you? Why are you pointing a gun at me? You know? Yeah. There's no way Jigsaw would anticipate that Jeff would point a gun at a fucking cop who shows up to save him.
But human nature.
A civil engineer. I forgot. Civil engineer. The pioneers of neuroscience.
I minored in human nature.
Yeah.
Human nature's kind of a hobby of mine.
So, yeah, they had to go in there. Okay, I said, so is the FBI guy dead now? Because they had to go get this body, do an autopsy. So where's fucking Strom at, right? What the actual fuck is going on here? These movies are taking place at the same time with multiple characters converging, but they don't explain where anyone kind of went or what happens. I guess Rig died by bleeding out. All he did was get a gunshot from a far distance. I don't think he's going to die from that, but Hoffman just like walks away and he's bleeding on the ground. I guess, hey, Rig is dead. Doesn't say if he's dead or not. I wrote, it's not that it can't be figured out. It's so poorly trying to be edgy that it fucked itself on its own ass. Okay.
As the edgiest of all edgelords.
Hostile, tell me. We get.
Well, I was going to say also before that, this is the first movie of the trilogy of movies where I was always kind of slightly confused because Hoffman and Strom are kind of both like sort of nondescript white guys with dark hair.
I keep thinking Hoffman is like the bad guy from Kindergarten Cop who doesn't know how to make any face.
He looks exactly like that guy.
Right?
Holy shit.
He doesn't make any other face but this face.
Yeah, for real. I kind of want to rewatch the Hostel movies. I haven't seen them in a very long time. The only reason I bring it up...
Chad. He runs the Eli Roth app thing.
Faced. Eli Roth...
Love you, Chad.
Seems like an asshole. He probably is. I don't know. We met him that one time. He did not seem great. I haven't seen Green Inferno. I know he's said very like problematic, weird, questionable things. He's kind of a sensationalist.
I think he started out his career. He started out his career on like a high note and in a way like, oh, this kid's rising star, but then he proceeded to just plateau and do the same thing over and over and over again.
I think that Hostel's a good movie. Yeah, the way I remember it in my head.
It's Hostel 2 that takes it into the like...
I think that even Hostel 2 is probably a pretty good movie.
But it took it more to like, hey, don't you like all that torture porn stuff?
It did, but it also did some other stuff that was fun too. So I without turning this into the review Hostel cast, but there's 2 movies it counts. We could do a podcast on. It's just that I say... you
know that series, that long-running series, Hostel 1 and 2. I say I don't really like torture porn movies. And people go like, oh, like Hostel. And then I go, well, I remember kind of liking Hostel. And then people get confused. And I go, listen to me. This goes back to what I was saying before about torture porn being like, dude, isn't it fucked up, bro? Like, yeah.
And Hostel certainly is that. It's certainly trying to do things that are disturbing and gross you out. Here's the other thing. Both those movies, at least the way I remember them, are comedies. They're absolutely not laugh out loud hilarious. They have self-awareness.
I know if I remember it, Hostel, the first movie has that campy like summer teen like, oh, we're a bunch of naked girls in a hostel. You want to come into our room? And then it turns dark.
Absolutely.
So it starts off a little campy.
There's also like fun like role reversals where they did the psycho thing where you think it's supposed to be like the girl, but it ends up being the guys this time. They're gonna get like preyed upon. It's this in the
there's a guy who when he's begging to get away and he starts speaking like Dutch to him, you think like he's gonna change his mind and he fucking just ball gags him.
Right.
He tells him to shut up and he's just like, whoa, I thought that was gonna go a different way. Yeah.
There's that's right, because they get like, I don't know, the girls are the ones that ends up like preying on the guys.
Yeah.
You know. There's there's payoffs where I think I remember the kids, like the little street urchins, and they end up like kicking the shit out of like one of the guys and like bashing his head, but it was done in a way that was comical.
Yeah.
Like I remember in the second one, I remember there being, you get to see the phone bidding war where there's all these like rich dudes, all of the planet, like all like, are you kidding me? And a white American woman, and they're so excited. And like the guy, they're on a golf course, and the guy that gets me, he's like, yes. And it's dark comedy, but it's still comedy. Like that's not like, look how fucked up in there. It's not like, look at the dark underbelly of the human trafficking torture business.
It's not Taken.
It's making commentary. No, it's not Taken. And later on in the movie, she ends up. I remember. I only saw Hostel 2 once.
Is that the one with the eyeball?
I don't know, but I don't remember that part.
The pus of the eyeballs like hanging out of her face.
That's in the first one.
Okay.
I remember that one because it was kind of funny. It was so gross that it was like, and you were kind of laughing at how gross it was.
Yeah.
In the second one, the main character.
If tell you like Hostel 2005 and torture porn and like the height of it. I mean, to be funny, like I was just watching the Daredevil, Netflix series. The guy who's not David Carradine but is David Carradine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I feel bad for not knowing his name. He's like he's an actor who's been around forever. He's in Backdraft.
Yeah, his stick. Like they jam things under his fingernails. They do like the whole torture scene, and it's funny how, 10 years later, about a decade later since like Hostel, there's TV shows on Netflix that are doing torture just as much as like Hostel did when it was fucking amazing when it did it. Now it's like it's just par for the course now.
Hostel still did some pretty fucked up.
No, but I'm saying it's just funny how it's
there's stuff that like back then it's like it's really like not that big of a deal now.
I mean, obviously, like it did things that more than what Daredevil did, but it's amazing that some level of that is reached into like mainstream stuff now.
I remember, and I'm going to spoil Hostel 2, I guess, right now. Who gives a fuck? Like, if,
Pretty sure the statute of limitations are up on that.
Because the main character's a woman, right? And
I don't remember anything about Hostel 2.
The main character's a woman. They change it. They switch it up. So in the second one, it's women this time, right?
Yeah.
On vacation. And the girl, so they're like, everybody's super excited because she's this beautiful, rich, white American woman. So she's like primo, like, product, you know, for... and I don't remember what exactly happens. She gets out of her situation at the end, the climax. The climax is that she's got the guy, some rich white asshole, literally by the balls. She has like hedge clippers or some shit, like locked on his junk and like holding them hostage. And all the guards and everybody are coming in. And this is what happens. She says, I'm rich. You didn't know this about me. I'm fucking fabulously wealthy. I come from a fabulously wealthy family. Yeah. Tell you what. How much did this motherfucker pay? I will pay more. I want to buy him.
Right.
And give me the fucking hound tattoo that means that I'm a part of the club or whatever.
Right.
And then they get it all settled and like yep, she's going to pay the money. Okay. Yeah. All right. That works for us.
Yeah.
And this is how it ends. She clips his nuts in his junk, takes his dick, throws it to a dog, like this Rottweiler thing in the background that just like chomps down on it with a plum. And that's how the movie ends. That's like
not with a plum, but with a plum.
Yeah, a plum, and a plum.
APLUMB, not a space PLUM.
His plums.
It's not the witch.
His plums.
It's not a with a peach.
Anyway, my point is that.
Yeah, what is your point with all this shit?
Any other torture porn movie that you throw up, like your Texas Chainsaw remakes.
Yeah.
Which
there's a new one coming out.
You're
like in a week.
You know
that?
Huh?
There's a movie called Leatherface coming out.
I heard it's terrible.
Terrible, yeah.
I Spit on Your Grave remakes.
Oh, the first one's so good.
Whatever, like anything like that. Like
that's
put
the one
those up against it. None of those are ever going for comedy. Ever.
I Spit on Your Grave is the one with like the boat and like the blowjob and then she bites the dick off. Is that
the original one? I never watched the remake.
I watched the original. Okay, I like the original one.
Anyway, that's my point is only that I'm not ready.
I only watched it because you like, here, Kyle, watch this movie, and I was like, all right.
I was way into that shit. I'm not saying that Hostels are the best movies ever. I might rewatch them now and think like, oh yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
But I remember them very, very clearly trying to go for comedy. Not the whole time. It's not a laugh out loud yuck
it's
fest.
Like Cabin Fever. It's a comedic movie in many respects. Pancakes.
Yeah, it's got comedy in it. So when the torture porn stuff happens, it's not this is making me feel gross. It is kind of more like, oh God, like you're laughing.
You want to cover your eyes, but
Yeah.
you still want to look through your fingers and go, oh, that's gross, but you're not like disgusted by it.
It's not taking itself so seriously is my point.
Yeah.
Whereas like Saw takes itself so goddamn seriously.
Yeah, that's probably my problem with a lot of things is when they take themselves seriously but really miss the mark on, you're not unless you're the assassination of Jesse James, you don't get to take yourself seriously unless you're really telling a real story. You know what I mean? Like you have to be, I want to win an Oscar and be nominated for something to be like a serious movie. If not, just play to your strengths. Just have fun.
Martyrs is I don't want you to watch Martyrs because you won't like it. And not because it's not a bad movie, because it's actually kind of a good movie that I never want to watch again.
Right.
But that's the only torture porn movie that I've watched.
There's a whole genre called torture porn.
I guess. That's probably not what it wants to be called. It wants to be called like extreme some fucking thing or whatever. But it's super serious. It's never trying to be funny. Martyrs is a very serious film from beginning to finish. It's also filled with really dark shit, but it's good and interesting and intelligent. So it actually, by the end of it, you're like, you've justified the brutality that you've been showing.
Yeah.
But that's hard to do. Anyway, sorry. I know, but I wanted to talk about Hostel for a minute.
Saw 5. I want to get through these 2 though now because I'm getting hungry and it's late.
I'm getting hungry too.
But I have to do due diligence and give each movie its own shot. I can't just like, I'm going late here, so I just gotta hurry. I want to feel like I get it whatever. Saw 5, directed by David Hackle. Again, some other guy who made some other movies. Who knows? I'm starting to sense a pattern here. Half of these movies are just flashbacks and exposition. Like that's all it is. It's not even whatever. There's no linear story. There's no linear storytelling anymore. Everything has to be happening while something else is happening from a previous movie, while also telling multiple stories at the same time, and eventually maybe linking up at the end. They're not even twists anymore.
So is this the one that opens up with Strom in the?
This starts with the guy
drowning box.
Okay,
Strom.
No, that's the end of this movie.
This is the good cop.
Okay, this one opens up with a guy in a device where he has to push his hands on some buttons and then the thing will smash his
scythe.
Yeah.
The pit and the pendulum.
Yeah, it will smash his hands, which I don't understand why smashing his hands will get him out of this trap.
This doesn't matter anymore.
But literally, like you look at like how he's chained up, you're like, what would it matter if his hands were just?
Because he did something to hurt himself. That's the only thing.
But like the way that like is if you smash your hands, you'll be able to get out. But it doesn't physically make any sense that would do anything.
It was designed to.
But again,
whatever.
Yes. Now instead of Amanda setting him up because Amanda's dead, Hoffman is setting up a trap. But this is all a big flashback. This is actually before Hoffman was working with Jigsaw. How the fuck the other FBI guy?
Good cop and bad cop from now on instead of they're using their names because they're interchange. They're literally one's a good cop.
One's a cop, one's FBI. The FBI guy's good. The cop is bad. The bad cop, Hoffman. I think in the previous movie or in this one, like somehow the good cop, Strom, somehow knew to just look up some guy named Seth Baxter, like typed it into a search thing because that guy killed Hoffman's sister, and then that guy ended up dying by a jigsaw trap, which really wasn't a jigsaw trap. It was Hoffman killing the guy who killed his sister by pretending to look like he was in a jigsaw trap that he designed because he wanted to kill him without getting caught. So he made it look like Jigsaw killed the guy.
Right.
But somehow Strom knew to type in Seth Baxter into a search engine to find that out. And then the picture of his sister almost looks exactly like the girl who was in 2 in the torture house. But it wasn't. Fuck these movies.
So
fuck them.
This is so I don't remember if it was him or Amanda. No, Amanda would be dead at this point. So
yes.
Bad cop Hoffman captures good cop Strom, puts him in a trap.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, that's how this movie starts.
No. Strom is near John Kramer's dead body, Jigsaw, right? And he notices there's like a door he could kick open in the wall or something, and it has a tape hanging. It says like, "Don't go any further.
You're gonna inherit my legacy."
No. This is to Strom. This is the good cop. He's like,
yeah, he says this to the
no. He says it. No, he says that to somebody else. He says, "Don't go any further trying to track down. Don't try to solve this anymore. Let it go. Don't follow this path or something like that." And of course, Strom, being the FBI guy, goes down this trap, sticks his head in the water cube. You remember that? So he walks down this hallway behind the room, and somehow I don't remember if he gets stabbed with a syringe of
that's what I'm saying. He gets knocked out or captured by
Hoffman. I guess
that's what I was saying.
Yes.
And then he puts him in the head trap.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with living his legacy or something like that.
Yes, it does, because the whole point of the end of this movie, the big twist, is that he ends up getting blame for the Jigsaw murders. That he's the Jigsaw copycat, and Hoffman gets all the accolades.
That's why he says you're gonna my legacy.
Yeah, that's why. That's the twist.
I guess you're right.
Strom inherits his legacy.
Basically, Hoffman puts him in a box in water.
This is okay.
But this is one of those things
what
where
a Harry Houdini escape artist would have done.
When
Except
you're going,
I don't really think it works.
I go back to if you're going to kill somebody, why does it have to be some elaborate puzzle? If there's no way to get out of it, just kill them. Just shoot them in the fucking head.
Well, there just wouldn't be a movie then, Kyle.
But what if this person doesn't matter? What if he just has to kill this person?
Why do they always run up the stairs?
Hey, Hoffman kills a bunch of people later on without doing traps. He just kills them because he has to, right?
Yeah, that's true.
He puts his head in the box, and then water pours into the box, and he can't. I don't know why he couldn't pull his head out. It was like a rubber thing. He could have just stuck. He could have just stuck his finger in there and pulled it, and the water would have run out or something. I don't really know why.
You think he would have just tied his hands behind his back or something?
Yeah, but he was smart enough to put a pin out of his pocket and give himself a tracheotomy so he could breathe through there.
Which I don't think.
For how long did he stay there till somebody found him? I guess when they found. I don't know. Fuck these movies. They're so convoluted bullshit. All right.
Anyway, Hoffman's the big hero because he comes out with some child. I don't know.
Jeff's and child. Lynn's child.
Okay.
And he didn't think that Strom would survive, so Strom's like, I got you, asshole.
Right.
You wanted to be the hero and survive, but I know whatever. Yeah. Fucking don't care. I like Strom, though, as the character. Saw never has a good ending. Let me just say this. I don't mean a good ending like...
No, I mean they never end happily.
They always end with the character going like, they're going to beat the odds, and no, they never fucking do. The bad guy always wins in these movies.
That's because the movies think that Jigsaw is the good guy.
Yeah. I said, this is getting ridiculous with the level of planning and having absolutely nothing go wrong. Like, it's... Okay, magic, whatever. It's a new spell. He just conjured up something. Bullshit. Fuck it. I'm getting angry now. It really does get dumb. It was funnish when it was a few steps ahead, but by now it's like Jigsaw was working weeks in advance.
I mean, this is the kind of thing where people they'll want to criticize The Dark Knight, the Joker.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on, man. Like he, with the cell phone and the thing, and then he got a bomb, and he's like, always like 10 fucking steps ahead. But this is like that times a million.
Yeah. Like I knew that this FBI guy would show up, find this hole in the wall, kick it open, and there's a tape recorder just waiting for, like, no, you don't know how to, no. Ugh. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Like, was he supposed to do the tracheotomy? Was that part of the plan too?
That's a good point.
Because they left the pin in his pocket. Was he supposed to figure that out, or was that just something he did on his own?
Human nature.
Like, when there was no puzzle, it was just a fancy way to kill someone? Yeah, I don't know. So now, John Kramer's ex-wife has left a box from Jigsaw because he died. The lawyer's like, here's his life. He gives to you this box that you have a key around your neck. We'll open this box, but we never see what's in the box.
Not what we do eventually.
In the next movie.
Yeah.
Again, one of these things where they probably didn't write it. They said, I don't know, the next writer will figure out this shit. Here's the thing you can start with, right? Yeah, so it's another subplot that went nowhere. Again, now we're just setting shit up. And of course, it was a VHS tape, and I was like, really? This is the one thing I actually do like, is the 5 people puzzle. So 5 people are trapped in a room. They have a collar around their neck, and there's razor blades in their neck. And they're all the same height because the razors are all where their neck is, right? They're all tied together, so if one runs out, it pulls the other one's back. There's keys in front of them, and he's like, he tells them to work together.
Yeah.
Don't go against your instincts. Don't be selfish, and maybe you'll get out of here. But of course, time starts to run out, and they all get selfish. One of the girls gets her head cut off. Then in the next room, it's
the bomb.
There's
no,
4.
bathtub?
There's no
bomb.
The bombs. There's a bomb in each room. There's a bomb in each room that goes off after 15 minutes. And so the guy who works for the newspaper is smart to go, don't close the door yet. Yeah. Let's look at this puzzle and then close the door before the bomb goes off. And I was like, this is good shit. This is like, let's work through this puzzle together, They're all assholes.
It's like when you play enough video games and you know if you go to that little spot and press X, you're gonna trigger you're gonna trigger the boss battle or whatever. So you go look around, find some ammo.
Yeah. Don't go through that door until you're really ready to fight the boss or something. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay. This is the one where there's a bunch of glass mason jars in the ceiling. You have to break them, find these keys to open these sewer vents, and then climb in the sewer vents. And then the bomb goes off. You'll be safe in the sewer vents.
There's only 3 sewer vents.
There's only 3 keys.
3 things.
And there's 4 people. So, okay, here's Jigsaw's a fucking liar. Again, this is the 5th movie. This takes place, I don't even know when, but we'll find out at the end. This is Jigsaw's voice. This is Jigsaw's traps. I don't think this is Hoffman doing this yet. This is all still Jigsaw. So he planned this one before his death too and made Hoffman carry it out for him. He says one of you will have to pay the price or something like that. Very deliberately saying 3 of you live, 1 of you dies. I thought to myself, why doesn't the 4th guy climb in with one of the other ones? There's enough room. You know, he could be safe. But then I go, well, maybe if you break the rules, Jigsaw's going to punish you. Because you're supposed to, he says, one of you is supposed to lose or whatever. But then by the end, it was like, oh no, you all could have survived. One of you could have climbed in the tunnel. I'm like, did your fucking rules say don't break the rules? And the rule said, one of you has to die. You fucking liar. This is poor writing. Because you say one thing and then you don't follow your own fucking rules. There's a lot of F words in this podcast. Probably the most cursing we've done in any podcast so far.
First time in a while.
Yeah. Third one is the bathtub. You have to touch all these electrical cables together in the water to open the door. And so the chick just comes up and just stabs dude in the head. Oh, wait, no.
No, this is
she stabs
the other woman.
She just stabs the other woman in the head with without a second thought and goes like, come on, bitch. You and me, we need to get out of here. But then it's like, why? Okay, I would kill you immediately because I'm like, you're going to kill me in the next room. Like, the first chance you get, you're going to kill me, so fuck you.
Is this the actress from Rambo?
Yes.
Okay.
She's the one who gets stabbed in the head right now, right?
It's the blonde that...
Well, she's not blonde.
She's one of the last
darker.
two.
Okay.
She's not a blonde in this movie.
So she stabbed the black woman in the head.
Yeah, I guess so. She's the...
you're...
in the bathtub.
Who is the girl that's in... something, but I can't remember right now. What?
Saw is full of people that have been in things that you can't quite remember.
Yeah, so it's the Rambo character. And the last room is you have to fill up 10 pints of blood for this.
This kind of remind me of John McClane and Samuel L. Jackson in Die Hard 3 with never mind. You haven't seen that movie.
I have. I love the Die Hard.
Are they going to do the water, like the water measuring puzzle?
No, Die Hard.
So excited when they figure it out.
It's one of those things where I expected to watch Die Hard 2 and 3 and be disappointed, and just to find out that I love them even more than oh my god, they're all good. And then the other Die Hards happened.
Yep.
And they're terrible.
Yes, they are.
They're so bad.
I accept no. I fucking
want to talk about a horror franchise.
Yeah, I don't fucking I accept no apologetics for
there's nothing
or Die Hard.
Yeah, and that's after Bruce Willis also became a complete cock. Just fuck those movies.
You don't want to go see oh fuck.
Cop
what are they
Out?
remaking? No, they're doing Death Wish.
Charles Bronson.
Eli Roth is making it.
Oh, okay, whatever.
It was kind of like one of those.
I don't have any attachment to.
It's don't know how to read a room, with Black Lives Matter, all these other things. It's just oh, I know what we'll do. I know. Let's remake a movie of the whitest white guy ever who takes it upon himself to be vigilante justice, take guns out and shoot people in the corner. That's good.
I have no idea. Oh, okay. So they have to fill up 10 pints of blood, and I don't know why that they had to keep cutting the saws deeper and deeper into their arm, because I'm pretty sure when you get a cut...
They were overzealous.
Did you think you would just cut, bleed, bleed?
Yeah, it's just you got to bleed it in the jars, and they're just just really ramming it in there. I'm like, is that really necessary? Even if you felt like you needed to get out a lot of blood quickly, you could have cut off just one finger and then squeezed, and
then when it stops bleeding because it
they just destroy their hands.
Well, he picks his hand up and you can see he sawed basically all the way to his elbow.
It's like that scene shot in Land of the Dead where they do the wishbone with the hand, the silhouette of it.
I know what you're talking about, yeah. It's almost like the bone tomahawk when they split the guy in half.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then they realize,
by the way.
What?
Since we're talking about Bone Tomahawk, nice try, Saw. Still nothing in this movie as disturbing as Bone Tomahawk. A Western has got you beat. All 7 of you.
Also, shout out to the guy who was do another modern Western movie. I loved your Hateful Bone Stone podcast.
Yeah, I did see that comment. That was good.
Okay, so then they realize, but if we had just all survived, we wouldn't have to get so much blood. We would each put a little bit of blood. Oh, we're bad people. Oh, we were all connected because you started a fire in a building that had people in it because a developer wanted to tear the building down to build. Oh, we're all connected. I don't fucking care. You're all assholes. I'm glad you ended up dying. Yeah, I'm glad you all kind of died, but the puzzles were fun. I enjoyed that part of the movie. Hoffman. So here he said Hoffman setting up Peter is what I got his name, is the FBI guy.
The squishy part, right? I kind of like this.
This
stuff.
is weird though because I thought he'd be smart enough by now.
With the glass coffin with the glass in it.
This is the one where he does the research
Glass coffin that is filled with glass.
Yeah. He knows he's working with Jigsaw and trying to prove it. Cut the guy in half and mask the death. Jigsaw. Yeah. I wrote mention of the jigsaw pieces maybe come together at some point. Make a puzzle. Nope. Still nothing with that. Still waiting on the jigsaw pieces. But they kind of said maybe something that made me think that. The flashbacks are Hoffman's origin story. You get to see what he went through, and Jigsaw has not. He thinks he's above being tested, and Jigsaw says you will be tested at some point.
Right.
And he tells like Amanda, I'm not going to be tested. I'm whatever.
He's one of the people in the box.
But turns out, yeah, Jigsaw when he dies, he's going to test you, Hoffman. Whatever, fucking you. Jigsaw seems to be the guy worth listening to, so he gets smashed like a trash compactor in Star Wars. Okay. So I don't remember how Strom finds. Oh, this is when he follows Hoffman to the house that I talked about. Opens the hatch in the kitchen and finds a fucking room with a Star Wars trash compactor in it under the guy's house.
Yeah.
Where the fuck under my house was there this? Whatever. It's fucking dumb.
Civil engineer.
He finds a coffin, a glass coffin with glass in it. Says, "Hop in the coffin. You'll survive. It might hurt a little bit, but you'll live.
Yeah.
Or die." Hoffman shows up. They fight. I would have thought a good ending now finally would have been Strom, the good guy, goes, ha ha ha, jumps in the coffin in the glass and closes it like an idiot. And you'd go like, oh, that's dangerous. And then whatever would happen would happen. But of course, no. He throws Hoffman in the box thinking he's smart. And then the box goes under the table, under the floor, and the walls come together and smash him.
Yeah, I didn't want to see him get smashed.
But I'm like, didn't you learn that Jigsaw said, don't follow, you'll die, right? Oh, I shouldn't have followed. Hey, hop in the box, you'll live. Maybe I should hop in the box. But again, Jigsaw's word means shit at this point. So they smashed him.
He smashed him pretty good.
He smashed him good because the opening of the next movie shows his smashed body fall from the ceiling. It's fucking pretty good.
Yeah. I got to give him some credit. I'm like, what would a body look like if that guy...
But
I guess that's what it would look like.
But I was bummed because, like, again, there's no happy endings. I wanted to see Bob Odenkirk keep going, you know?
Bob Odenkirk.
He looks like
That's
Bob.
how you thought.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He has the same kind of, like, hairdo.
He didn't get the best of his doppelganger.
Yeah, I wish Saul Goodman would have made it out of that trap.
God, now I'm just trying to imagine these movies starring Bob Odenkirk.
I mean, whatever. Then the FBI guy boss shows up at the scene of all the dead people where the phone has been put there
This
to
is
make
the
it.
rapey guy from Shawshank Redemption.
It is.
Yeah.
No wonder he looks so familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the two that put all the blood in there are like one of them's crawling on the floor, but I guess did they bleed out? I don't know.
Can't remember.
No resolution.
Can't remember. Somebody came by and dramatically closed a door in front of them.
Yeah.
Said, "You stay in this room now."
Saw 6. I want to finish this. Kevin Grutert. His previous accomplishments were mainly an editor on all the Saw movies.
Yeah.
Good thing we kept it in the family instead of hiring
He
someone
got the
who
job
might.
for doing those awesome wipes.
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing when they were doing the blood filling up the thing with the cutting. The camera work, it was just zooming around in 360 and camera. It's so fucking stupid. So stupid.
This movie's super topical with everybody talking about healthcare, right?
Yeah,
This is the healthcare movie.
ahead of their time.
Yeah.
This is the two co-workers have to put flesh in a bucket and see whoever puts it.
I'm gonna say this one was my favorite opening Sawism.
See, but she was annoying the way she screamed, and
Yeah,
he
but
was
they were
just
kind
like,
of funny. Yeah, I think it was played heightened for laughs.
it was. That's what I was gonna say. It's much sillier.
Yeah.
But also, again, one of you has to die. This is not fair.
It's fucking ridiculous. This guy cutting out pieces. Side, like I'm like, look at it. I'm like, I think she's got the better idea here.
Well, the joke there being is like cut off your flesh, and then you look at him, and he's a huge fat guy.
Right.
So he has all this extra. She's just like skinny, and you're like, what is she gonna do? And she's fucking cut my arm off, right? Smash FBI guy's body. Insurance company does their best to deny coverage and be dicks.
Don't forget the hand that it was not squashed is what he uses to start planting fingerprints.
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, we'll get to that fucking stupid thing. I made a note of that for one of them. It was really dumb. Yeah, there's like the insurance guy has like my team of 6. They call them the Terminators. They go around. Their job is to go around and deny people coverage for little technicalities. And they're fucking hot stock Wall Street like trader bros and their little fucking, oh my god,
in the pit.
Yeah, they're like the guys in was it the big I guess it'd be Wolf of Wall Street or like The Big Short, who are just like, you know.
They're in the Hurt Locker.
Yeah, whatever. It's fucking dumb. It's fucking the guy from...
They're in the Shark Tank.
There you go. And they're like, yeah, high five! I denied coverage to somebody. Like, what the fuck is this?
The Boiler Room.
Oh, man. The workshop where they have like the woodworking shop where they have saws and stuff.
Sure.
Perez isn't dead. That's the girl who... Oh, man, we blew through all that stuff in the last movie. I didn't take notes. There was the chick from Survival of the Dead who...
Oh, yeah. She had the explosion. And
yeah, she was the one that...
It doesn't matter because she doesn't play into anything. She's not like... What does she affect? Anything at all?
I don't know, but she didn't die.
She didn't.
Because they hid her death.
Right. But then, like, she came back and then it didn't matter why. It didn't matter.
Well, because she, like, immediately knew that Hoffman was, like, the bad guy, but then didn't do shit to, like, stop. Okay.
Like, literally, she affects this plot in no way at all.
Jigsaw stuff is being in court, is being distributed to, like, his will.
This is the movie, I think, where we find out about the drug addict and the miscarriage and like all that.
I just wrote, it hasn't been anything original or interesting since the first movie. Some tie-ins for the first 3 movies were fine to expand and kind of twist it a little bit more, but seriously, it's so formulaic now, it's sad.
People seem to think that this one is a high point in the series, but I can't. Maybe some of the camera work was better. It was probably better lit.
I just wrote, it must be fun to rewrite your characters and fuck with the quote-unquote lore of a series just to suit your whims so you can make a new movie and be edgy. Because, like, they're... Okay, so, yeah, now the ex-wife isn't on it. She's like... This is when she goes internal affairs. And she says, like, I want immunity, and I will prosecute... I will say that Hoffman did it, and I have all this evidence.
Is this the one where she gets Hoffman in the face trap? That was fun. I like to see...
But again, it's like all of a sudden she's like, now I know all the stuff that he did. Like, did you know before and you lied about it? Like, when you say like retconning, I feel like they just rewrite these characters to suit this movie specifically. Still can't just tell one story. It always has to be intercut with 3 stories at once. Okay, so this is definitely designed by Jigsaw, but someone has to die, which breaks the series' own rules. So yeah, I wrote that. This is a third person from Survival of the Dead. The kid. Oh, it's the kid. They come across.
The kid that's like, what the fuck are you using that laptop for? Why don't you get one of these fancy iPads?
Yeah. So that's the third person. I don't know. The weird connection I see. There's like, oh, these are the same actors from the movie. Whatever. This is the one I actually kind of enjoy. This is the insurance CEO.
Well, this was a little more streamlined. So, like, the theme is going to be life insurance and how life insurance is bullshit.
No, medical or just insurance.
Medical insurance, not life insurance.
And you try to teach the guy who used to actually be friends with the... Like, it turns out Jigsaw was actually friends with the CEO of the insurance company and then still got denied coverage by him.
Just like every other fucking thing with this fucking pussy, it's not until it affects me.
Yeah.
No, now I'm learning my lesson. Now I'm going to make other people learn this lesson.
So let's get to like the deep cuts here, though. He's friends with the CEO guy he meets at a party. Later on, he has to be denied coverage, but not because So here's where it's actually fucking bullshit, because he puts the CEO in the game. The CEO guy goes, I wrote the algorithm that determines if, make money or not. He says, there's a experimental treatment for my brain tumor in Europe somewhere, and you just have to sign the paper that says, like, let me go do it. And the guy's like, well, I can't. It's not proven. You could die from it. But also, even if I want to, your doctor has to say it's worth it. And your doctor says it isn't worth it. It's not so much that I'm denying you coverage. He says, if you go do this treatment, I will have to deny you coverage because my coverage says go to this doctor, and whatever the doctor says is what I will cover. If the doctor says go to Europe, I guess we'll cover it. I don't think he ever said like he wouldn't cover that. He just said it's not proven. It's a risk. His doctor is the guy from the first movie. Yeah, we already know that.
Yeah.
We already know who his doctor was.
Yeah.
You have to really remind us? We fucking know. He cut his fucking foot off in the first movie.
Yeah, and he didn't have very good bedside manner.
Yeah, he was just all worried about his book.
He's got a name. Why don't you use his name? Hey, have you heard of a little guy? Have you heard of a guy called Patch Adams? Huh? He's my hero.
So it's like, oh, this guy's connected to the guy from the other guy in the movie with this movie and the guy. Just make a fucking movie. Why does everything have to be connected to some other... Whatever. The game is interesting. The CEO has to learn about human life or like valuing it and like helping people by hurting himself to help them, or he could just say like, oh, fuck you guys, I'll die and you'll live. So the first one,
it was the breathing thing.
Yeah, so it was him and his but in that case someone had to die, right? So one of them had to die.
Yeah.
So again, we're breaking the rules already. The first guy,
he's kind of like, you know what Jigsaw's kind of,
but not even
like,
not even the rule of Jigsaw saying I don't murder. It's this one's all about if you can value and learn like the respect for human life, you can make it out of here and save people at the same time, but you can't save everybody. I'm going to kill some of them.
So Jigsaw reminds me of another character from another movie that's better than Saw. And the movie's called No Country for Old Men, and that character's called Anton Chigurh.
Yeah.
And in that movie, Anton Chigurh has a coin that he flips to decide sometimes whether he's going to kill people or not. And at the end, he's going to kill Llewellyn's wife. It's a cute little thing from Boardwalk Empire. Great actress. Great. And he tells her to call it heads or tails.
Right.
And she says, I won't do it. I won't do it. And he's like, you have to. And he tries to explain, but fate or luck, the thing. And she goes, no, you're the one who's flipping the coin. It doesn't matter whether I call it. You say that it's the coin that does it. The coin's got no say. It's you that's doing it. She's calling him on his bullshit.
Right.
And saying it's your responsibility. In that way, they are similar. It's like the movie knows that Anton Chigurh is like a hypocrite. But this movie, they don't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the thing where
this is the podcast where I just want to talk
other
movies.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're eating gruel and you think, what's really good? It's like a cheeseburger. Like
and I don't want you to spend 30 minutes on Wikipedia. I want you to listen to us for 4 hours, just tell you what's on Wikipedia. This is the interesting one where if you breathe in, it starts to smash you.
Yeah.
So whoever breathes the least amount. Oh, he has a bomb strapped to each wrist and each foot or whatever.
Yeah.
So he has to solve 5 things that unlock each bomb one by one.
Yep.
So, yeah, first guy dies.
Who's got like lung cancer or something. There was had somewhat of a handicap.
Or he'd been smoking for so many years.
Yeah.
So it's like, why should he value his life? If he doesn't value it himself, why should you value it?
Yeah.
Second one, 2 people hanging by barbed wire.
And he just needs to decide.
You just pick which one gets to live.
Yeah.
The old lady who, whatever, and the young guy who no one's gonna care if he's dead,
sucks.
but he has a whole life to lead, you know. Saves the old lady. She's like, thank you. And then how the fuck is she supposed to get out of there?
I don't know. Yeah. He's like, somebody will come get you, I promise. I have to keep doing this shit.
Yeah. I only have 90 minutes or something. Then the carousel of shotguns was 4 people out of 6 are going to die, so pick them. And then they're all just saying, this person's been cheating and stealing money. And, they're all just, they turn into the fucking predator, the alpha males that they are, the alpha males and females that they are, and just fucking shit on each other. And he has to push a button that stabs him in the hand to save the 2. So again, at this point, he could kind of just walk away and go, I don't want to hurt my own hands. I can just let them all 6 of them die. Mm-hmm. But, he's starting to value life at this point.
Mm-hmm. There's the one with the fire maze.
Oh, that was a good one.
Steam maze.
So he has to hold the valve to like stop the steam for the person to run through, but then the steam burns him. But then what happens at the very end, you get there and it's like, oh, there's only like 10 seconds left and you have to get a key from inside my body.
Yeah.
That you have to cut me up. And she's just like, fucking, I'm just going to murder you with the saw. And it's like, no, I'm going to get the key out. Just cut me open. But you had to attack him and go crazy, so he had to kill you.
Yeah.
Again, fucking dumb people. What was the last one?
The last one is the twist is that you have the mother and the son who you think are his wife and child.
Right.
But it turns out they're the wife and child of some other poor asshole that didn't get coverage that ended up getting killed by this insurance.
By cancer or something like that.
Yeah. And so they the entire time have had this lever that says live or die, and they don't know what it means. They're constantly bickering. So fucking stupid. Ad nauseum arguing with each other about what it means and should they flip it and all these things. So the twist.
Well, and then wait. And then they do turn it on at one point, but it doesn't do anything yet because they have to wait.
You can see that it has like acid in a vat thing.
And there's a journalist.
Right, and I don't remember her deal.
And she was like investigating, and she's in the other side.
Yeah. What happens to her? She's just there to bear witness?
I thought what was going to happen, because that's his sister. That's the CEO's sister, it turns out.
Okay.
Not his wife. You think he's talking to his wife on the phone earlier about her birthday?
That's who he's saving, is this sister.
Yeah, he's like, I'll give it whatever. Yeah, later we'll get up together and we'll have a good time. with the live or die thing, I thought what was happening was like they're going to say like die. Instead of killing him, it's going to kill his sister and he's going to have to witness it or something, you know?
Yeah.
But no, it just killed him. Maybe if they'd picked live, it would have like he would have lived, but she would have died.
Somebody would have died.
Yeah, exactly. And
It's
so
a Jigsaw thing.
it's a bunch of tubes that stab him in the back and then inject acid into his body until he like melts apart, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But again, if he wasn't standing there, he could have just not gotten, or I don't know.
How the fuck does this end?
They're on to Hoffman. They're taking the FBI people or the police department's going like, hey, we're re-engineering the tape to hear the voice of the person because it's not
That's
Jigsaw.
right. He's found out. Now he's like fugitive guy.
And he's found out in a room with 3 other agents who have guns, and he somehow stabs.
Badass kills everybody.
Yeah. And then he proceeds to kill everybody in the fucking police station.
Oh, so the wife, Jill, she somehow...
Oh, wait, no, that's in the next movie.
No, that's in 6, because he gets out of the trap.
Shoot her in the head, Keaton.
Oh, no, that's how it ends. You're right. She puts the thing on him.
But how... Wait, that can't happen here, right?
I don't remember whether he gets out of the thing in this movie or gets out of it in the next movie. But I like the way he gets out of it.
Okay, they're on to him. Okay, Carousel. Hoffman kills the tech and the FBI when they prove it's him because the fingerprints... Okay, so this is where they found fingerprints at the scene that belong to the good FBI agent that we say is... They pretended to make Jigsaw is accomplice when really it's Hoffman, not Strom. But they're like, oh, but the fingerprint was left by a dead person, not a live person because the acid, whatever,
like,
blah,
you
blah,
can
blah.
tell that? Like, and you can see this person use a different knife. Also, he fucking sucks at doing this thing. Like, you can tell that?
And then, so he kills them and like the tape and proceeds to burn this fucking building down or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess maybe in the trunk of his car, he still has the hand. He drives around with it. You know, that's a safe thing to do. He proceeds to take the hand and like put it on the wall and put it on the person, put this, but then he burns the whole fucking place down. There's not going to be fingerprints from a fucking fire. Why did you do that? What? Oh, I put my fingerprint on the wall. That's going to be on fire in 5 seconds. There's not going to be any fingerprints. There's not going to be any wall. That didn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
You put fingerprints on a fire. That doesn't work. Yeah, this is the shit that makes the public stupider because they think CSI is like magic and you can just do anything.
Right.
Like, oh, can't they just, I don't know, just put it in a computer and it just knows, right? No, it doesn't work like that. Don't show people that because they think that it actually works like that. It doesn't fucking work like that.
They end up on a jury and...
Yeah.
I can't remember how this ends.
God, the ending, quick cutting was beyond stupid. It tries to be heavy, but it's corny. Hoffman survives again. Okay, yeah, she does get Hoffman.
But does he survive it in this movie, or is that saved for the next movie?
She finds out where he's at. Whatever. She puts the fucking mouth thing that was on Amanda. Yeah, the reverse bear trap for the mouth on him, and then walks away. And he's smart enough to break glass. Smashes his hand, gets out of the chair, breaks some glass in a window, which has bars in it, so that when the reverse bear trap goes off, it gets stuck in the bars and doesn't rip his face apart. And then he tears his cheek open to get the mask off.
Yeah. Which
I don't even know if that would even work.
I don't know.
Based on how that thing looks. So he is a badass. He has been tested and he has survived so far.
Yes.
Which
makes him a slightly interesting character.
But also he's the bad guy, so you're kind of like, oh, fuck this guy though.
Yep.
Saw 7.
Saw 7.
Directed by some guy named Kevin.
Oh shit, Hoffman's gonna get revenge.
Oh, he's directed by the same guy who did Saw 6. It's the same thing.
Do you want to talk about your opening here that has nothing to do with anything?
Oh, this is Saw 3D, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
First, like, public...
Yeah. So this one is...
and who did this? Who set up this...
That's why this doesn't fucking matter. There's a, like a store window somewhere. It looks like it's somewhere in England or Romania, or you're right. Like, I don't fucking know where it's at, but it looks like somewhere not America to me. And two people wake up at a table with saws in it. More saws, right? And there's a lady hanging from the top, and it's like, you want to play a game? This lady cheats on you guys, and you both are idiots. So A, push the saw really hard and cut the other guy up, and then stay with this girl who's bad. Or B, work together and cut her in half so you guys can both live, and you can cut the girl who's bad. Okay. I literally thought this was like a performance art. Like it was a joke, right? Like some college students in the world of Jigsaw, in this universe were like, oh, we put on this thing to make people think someone's going to cut in half, but it's all, production.
Right.
No, it literally, I guess, was like a real Saw thing. The colors were off. Everything was overly bright and weird and colorful. When she gets cut in half, the guts start to fall out in a really, like, funny way. I'm like, this isn't real, right?
Yeah.
I did not think this was actually part of the movie. I thought this was a joke in the movie, or that some characters in the movie were playing a joke.
But you see, it's really smart though, because you see, there was a saw, and there were 3 of them, right?
But only 2 of the guys have D, so it's not 3D.
Maybe that's where the 3D stops and it just turns to 2D. No, never mind. That doesn't make any sense. It's pretty a little misogynist. This is a little very like. I mean, it's not like the series is
Right.
fucking feminist or anything like that, but this is just very fuck bitches, right? You know.
That's what he says. Where he's like, like, hey man, she's bad to you and me.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
It's good stuff.
I still would probably kill the other guy. I'm like, well, she's a cheating piece of shit. She was attractive. But yeah, and it didn't have any like 3D, like nothing like felt the camera or anything, or
right.
I don't understand why this scene was in the movie, because one, how did anyone ever do a public execution thing, set this whole up? No one ever saw anything. The police never shot the glass out to say.
It's just there.
And then it's over and it's never referenced again. And I was just like, oh, is this going to come back in the twist at the end? It does. I don't know why this scene is in the movie. It has no bearing on the movie. The characters didn't mean anything. I don't know where it took place. I don't know how it took place. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think it was actually part of this universe. I thought it was just something that was like, hey, everyone, remember Jigsaw? Like, we're doing performance art and it's a public showing. It's like, ha ha ha. I don't know. And it's just like Saw 3D. The movie starts. I don't get it. I don't know.
It'll be in.
Why don't they just?
It's going to be in Saw 8.
Why don't they just make a Saw movie where it's just like 7 scenes in a row of just like the game, and like no one ever says who's playing it. No one's in charge. Just do the torture porn for an hour and a half and have no story.
I mean, that's what people certainly criticize these movies for being.
But like, this is what the scene was.
Later entries.
It has no other value other than just to be a scene of torture porn, because it has no bearing on plot. It just padded the movie a little bit and gave you a dumb little scene. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
Okay. I guess so the ex-wife knew about it, but my question is like, how much and when?
I don't know. Hoffman's trying to get revenge.
Why does there need to be some stupid elaborate setup just to kill the ex-wife? When it's not a game, there's no escape. What's the point of wasting all that time to build a the train track thing?
Dream sequence.
Right? It's like, but I'll say, when she got cut in half and then fell and the blood and guts, that was pretty good. I feel like this movie was just like, hey, I think this chick's hot. Let's just put her in the movie a lot and show her big tits. Because that's all this is, which is like, hey, remember that girl we hired in Saw 4 that we haven't really put in the movie much? She's pretty hot for an older lady. Let's just make her like wear skimpy clothes and show her fucking nipples all the time. I don't understand, like, that's all this was. It's just a chance to show off this chick's body. Which, I mean, maybe she's what she wanted. She's like, I feel like I'm an older woman and I want to look good again. Put me in the movie and show my titties. Like, this movie feels out of place with the rest of them a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, that's hard to, I know, but the vehicle, it seems a little different. I don't know.
Speaking of vehicles, so there's the junkyard, white supremacist,
again.
4-way.
Okay, now that does lead into some story, but that felt just like the first scene where it was like not random, but like just, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like it needs anything. Why is there an 8-track player in this car?
There's a reason why he does that. He does it
just to get them all there, all the cops and stuff to show up at an investigation.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that too. I can't remember. I think he's trying to maybe he's trying to frame Jill, trying to implicate her. Maybe.
Oh, also the scene when he kills Jill in her dream with the train tracks thing is fucking like like more rock music, more. I was telling my wife, and she's like, I was like, college student. I'm like, no, what? Fuck, it's like high school. She's like, yeah, I can see a high school student doing that, thinking that they're being edgy and cool. I know we've used that word a lot, but it's
kind of like Resident Evil in a lot of ways. I feel like they're closely related.
Shut your mouth. Oh, you mean the movies?
Yeah.
Okay, I think like
no.
The games. I'm like, you shut your mouth. Yeah, it's it's just a dream. Pfft, dumb. Yeah. So the guy's glued to the seat, and he has to tear himself off the seat so he can pull the trigger, so that his girlfriend doesn't hit her head, run over by the tire, and then pull the chain from the guy's mouth, who then drives into the other guy in the wall, and then hit a car and fly out the windshield. Whatever.
I'm just like racking my brain
about why they did it.
I'm trying to remember why, because Hoffman puts that trap together, and he does it to
have everyone think that Jigsaw's still doing stuff or that someone's doing stuff so that they can... Okay, what happens is they all die. The people show up. He sets a bomb off. Everyone leaves. Hoffman takes one of the bodies out of like a morgue bag. What do you call those? A body bag?
Right.
Puts himself in the body bag so that he can infiltrate the police station.
Because he's trying to get to Jill.
Yes.
Because she's under police protection.
Yeah. Which she's in a safe house at one point.
Right.
And she's like, oh, aren't you going to whatever? And the guy's like, it's a safe house. No one knows about it. And then the lady who's not from Rambo, but I thought was from Rambo for a second, walks in and goes, there was a package here sent for Jill. Oh, Hoffman fucking knows about the safe house already. Like, how did he... There's so much information here where people just know what everything's going on. It's just annoying. There's a therapy group. Oh, this is the one with the guy who pretended that he went through a saw trap.
Oh, right.
And wrote a book about it to make a bunch of money.
What the
main line is
was in this one. Okay.
He's like he's doing the TV rounds. He's like, I survived and I'm a better person for it and all the shit. And it turns out,
Jigsaw doesn't like that.
But Jigsaw's dead.
But he didn't like it when he was live.
I guess so, yeah. So he
showed up to his book signing.
Oh, yeah.
It's just very like, but don't you think you're being a little bit of an asshole? But don't you think that... But wouldn't it be better if you didn't do this?
And then he signed his book in a really interesting way or something.
This is like you fucking hypocrite, like you didn't go through you didn't have hooks in you. You didn't do it. And then we get the return of Cary Elway's Robin Hood.
Well, that was during the survivors group therapy that someone tries to give a speech about being strong. Oh, the main character. Mm. And it was just like, dude, you're not a good enough actor for this.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't carry a room.
Yeah.
He does fine later, but like he couldn't. We're survivors because we're strong. I'm like, dude, you're weak. Shut your punk ass up.
Right.
And then yes, Robin Hood's like clap, clap, from the darkness. I don't even know what he says, but. Whatever. This one, then of course, Jigsaw or Hoffman or whoever. Hoffman's busy trying to kill Jill.
I think Jill has put him in this thing at this point, isn't she? Is she the one that's orchestrating him at this point?
Who?
Because why would Hoffman put the faker in a trap? He has no reason to. I think Jill does it, and Hoffman's busy trying to get. I mean, Jill
can't do that. No,
I don't fucking know. These fucking movies are fucking stupid garbage.
I mean, Hoffman has time to do that, but as a side distraction. I don't know. Basically, this one, yes, the guy has to save like his publicist, his manager, is like all these things. Like they're all liars because they're all in on it. So one of them, like, oh, your PR person, she needs to learn how to do silence. He's got to pull a key on a fish hook from inside her mouth down in her stomach, and she can't scream or else the pipes go closer to her neck if she makes noise. So her lesson that she learns is, as a mouthy PR person, she learns how to be quiet. He pulls that fucking fish hook really hard. And I said to myself, even if she survives this, she's going to die from internal bleeding.
Yeah.
She dies anyways, whatever. The next one...
I don't get it. It was like a lady on one of those...
Oh! This weird, like, Da Vinci device that rotates a
See those, like, when you're paralyzed or like paraplegic, since they use that in, like, therapy? I don't know. I've seen those in hospitals before.
Imagine you're on a Hannibal Lecter being wheeled into the courtroom on a dolly cart or something like that, and he has to hold this.
This is very uninspired.
Yeah, he has to hold this weight up to touch the circuit to stop it from moving for 30 seconds, but it stabs him in the side. And then he doesn't do it. So she dies. There's the one that was interesting was like. There's no floor. There's a couple of wood planks, and they have to kind of meet in the middle. But then the guy falls, and then he tries to throw a guy who can't see, throw him a key. Like, here, catch the key. You can't see. And then it kills him by pulling him up and choking him, like hanging him. And then his wife.
The fucking iron bowl.
Okay, who does she look like? She looks like I don't
know. It's just random brunette.
But she looks like oh God, I can't remember. He has to actually do the thing that he pretended to. He said that was his torture by putting hooks into his chest and then lifting himself up. That's, of course, his trial is to have to do it now for real. He does it, but then eventually the skin tears on his flesh and he can't do it. Even though he went through all the trouble, he went through all the pain. I'm like, okay, you win, but no, of course not, whatever. Yeah, what's the fucking, what is that thing? Whoosh! The front, the cover, the side. What is that?
It's an iron bowl.
What is that from, though? I don't know that.
What an iron bowl is?
I mean, I can imagine it's like a real torture device from...
It is. It's probably the worst thing anybody ever made.
But the way that, like, it comes up over her and it looks like an atomic bomb. Like, it looks like something like you would ride in Dr. Strangelove, you know?
Civil engineers. They got, you know.
It's so large. Where did they build this fucking thing? Like,
civil engineers can build anything.
tell me about the iron bowl.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's an iron bowl that it's with a compartment. You put somebody inside and you strap them up and you close it and you light a fire underneath it.
It's made out of metal.
Yeah,
right,
and it fucking cooks you. And your screams are supposed to come out the bull's mouth. It sounds actually like a bull, like whatever.
Yeah, she just put in a big atomic bomb casing and then fire until she melts.
Yeah.
And then he comes out of it?
I don't know. I'm so beaten down by it now.
This is the one where it's supposed to be in 3D and everyone looks weird because it looks like they're in front of a green screen because this 3D effect doesn't play well in 2D.
Let's just get to the
I'm trying to get there.
He gets to Jill. He gets Jill back and puts the reverse bear trap on her.
Wait, hold on. Give me a quiet bullet again. Shut up, screaming. Weird lift weights, running out of ideas here. Kills his lawyer. He has to kill his lawyer? Oh, no. I don't even know. I wrote kills his lawyer. I don't even know who I'm talking about. Blindfolded person. Oh, they're very confident about Hoffman's location all of a sudden, but they're not worried about walking into a trap.
So they find the secret compartment in the junkyard,
because there was a mirror that said like look inside yourself or see inside, or was that in the other movie? It's so hard. Okay, whatever. Somebody tried to copy Breaking Bad's automated machine gun.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, this is this is 2010 though.
Breaking Bad would have been later.
Yeah. I guess so. I'm disappointed that one led to the other one instead. Yeah, they kick in the door and they find like the secret lair, but the secret lair has a machine gun in it.
Very Unsaw-like.
Also, someone said that too.
Not a whole lot of machine guns.
There's another place where the SWAT guys are at, and
nerve gas.
Yeah, they locks them in, and this is where like the tests were happening with the guy who faked it. They all end up getting killed too. Yeah, Hoffman stabs a bunch of guys, John Wick style, in the bottom of the mouth. Just fucking right up under the mouth. But the lady detective, he doesn't. He tries to break her neck, and then she knocks the knife out, and then he just snaps her neck. I don't know why and then he uses her head, the door, as if it's like a retina scanner, and like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's like, he looks through the slot and sees her face, and she's like, I know it doesn't play well on a podcast, but it's fucking dumb. Kills that guy, shoots through the one-way mirror, and kills the guard, and then gets Jill, which is the ex-wife, and then puts does he drug her and take her somewhere, or does he do it there?
It doesn't matter. She ends up in the reverse bear trap thing.
And she doesn't get out.
She doesn't get out.
Again, no happy endings.
We've been waiting the entire series to see what that thing does.
After she stabbed him in the neck with a scalpel. Yeah. Or she good in there. And then she runs away, and she can't seem to find anywhere to run inside this police station. So she hides behind a file cabinet until he finds her. Stupid. Go find a gun. There's cops everywhere. There's dead ones.
Big twist time. Big twist. Who's the new Jigsaw?
During the flashbacks, it shows Lynn cutting Jigsaw's head open and blood splattering on her face, and you can see a PA's hand actually throw the blood at her. I totally freeze framed it because I was like, wait, what? You see these two red fingers throwing blood at her.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's one of those things where it's so obvious that I caught it while watching it. It wasn't like I went to go on the internet and like, ooh, movie mistake website. Yeah, that was part of your fucking music montage recap at the end. Oh, cool. Now there's another person who has been helping him all along from To Shadows. Dr. Gordon from the first movie.
Oh, that explains all like the medical, because he knows how to do doctor stuff.
Yeah, he could sew someone's eyes shut because you need a doctor for that.
And he knows a good doctor for the Part 3 movie. I know just the person.
I don't even know why he actually says, yeah, you would want her for the thing. But then he also takes the husband and all the other shit. Like, he could perform surgeries. Why does he need her? I don't know why they even got her. I really don't understand why in 3, like, what was the whole point of taking that doctor?
Isn't there more than one of them now? It's not just him?
So Hoffman gets away. He leaves and he blows up the facility with fire and gas to cover his tracks or whatever. And on the way out, he gets attacked by 3 pig mask-wearing people. One of them is Dr. Gordon. Who the fuck are the other 2?
Because he fights. Show him? I don't remember.
No, he fights him off for a while, and then then he stabs him with the thing, and it's like, haha, it's me, the guy from the first movie.
This is just another one of those.
I cut my foot off. And did you know that John Kramer put me in a bed and put this fake foot on me and
civil engineer
fed me baby food? Yeah.
Now I appreciate my life.
Yeah. Also, I want to murder people too.
Yeah, that's what happens when you appreciate life all of a sudden.
Oh God. I said, where's the inventiveness everything seems to need for no reason? Like, it has to be dramatic for no reason. You can do cool stuff. Oh, because then they lock Hoffman in the original room from the first movie that has a very special...
Full circle.
But also, Jigsaw is the one talking on the cassette tape this time about this whole thing. Still, he still planned all this too. Yeah. And Jill was the one who delivered the message from the box that her husband left her to the doctor, Gordon, who wrote the note, says, I know who you are, to Hoffman, and fuck me, I don't care.
He's the ultimate master mind.
Yeah, they lock Hoffman up the same way in the first movie, then turn off the light and close the door. Is this another game? Is Hoffman supposed to get out of this? Or are they just killing him? If they're just killing him, why do they do it like this? Why don't they just kill him? No one's going to find his body because it's in this place that no one's ever going to look. So why don't you just shoot him in the head?
Did we already say these movies are sawful? Did we already do that? We did that already.
No, but but it's good. Yeah, pun. Not a pun. Wordplay. A pun is like
it's not a pun.
A pun is up to your covered in water or I'm underwater, like the guy in the fifth movie.
Do you have anything to say?
I do. I want to say this out loud. In Saw 3, we see a character read a letter and burst into tears shortly before flying into a homicidal rage. We don't learn who wrote this letter until Saw 4. We don't learn what it said until Saw 6. Saw 3 shows us 5 minutes immediately after the end of Saw 2. Saw 4 shows us what happens immediately after that. Saw 4 actually also takes place during the events of Saw 3, which is only revealed when a character from Saw 4 literally walks into the final scene of Saw 3 about 2 seconds after the previous film cut to black. Saw 5 picks up about 30 seconds after Saw 3. You see the traps from Saw 1 being set up in a flashback sequences during Saw 3 and 5. You see traps from Saw 2 being set up in flashback sequences during Saws 3 and 5. You see traps from Saw 3 being set up in a flashback sequence during Saws 5 and 6, and I'm not talking about merely reusing footage. I'm saying that the latter movies recreated earlier sets and brought back actors who were chronologically deceased to show us new information about things we already seen. After the credits of Saw 6, you see something that took place between the events of Saws 2 and 3. It may be a critical clue to the denouement of Saw 3D or Red Herring. I don't fucking know. Did I mention the main villain, Jigsaw, dies at the end of Saw 3, and yet the events of all the movies are planned by him? And no, there's nothing supernatural about him. That's the, chronological funness. How many fucking movies overlap with each other? It's so bullshit. Also, I don't know about this after credit sequence. I need to go look at this now. After the credits of Saw 6. Okay. I'm going to do that later. I really want to know what this stupid thing is. But this is before the person saw Saw 7, so. That's it, folks. That's all, folks.
All right, let's answer these fucking questions and go home.
Yeah, well, I am home.
Well,
but I gotta set all this shit up and put it away.
Okay. This is gonna be short.
Okay, let's start with this easy one. Best trap or best puzzle trap.
I don't know. I like the I like the one with the two people who had to put the most amount of flesh in the thing from the beginning of 6, I guess.
I liked the 5 people. If they had gone through the 5 stages together one, it's interesting. Probably the best single one, just the most interesting, was the guy who was covered in the oily, flammable material who had to carry a candle around and read the numbers off the wall for the safe, which I don't know any safes that have a combination that's 8,000 numbers long, or even how to solve which numbers go where. And then he had to walk on glass the whole time. That's probably the most, you could survive this in a way if you're careful or, fair, maybe.
Just my brain's trying to cycle through all the fucking awful. This is the guy who gets his fucking limbs twisted around completely around.
Oh, that one is rough.
Around.
Yeah, we forgot about that one.
It is interesting to note that in all these movies, they never fuck with anybody's genitals.
That's the one where the guy, the pig.
Yeah.
That guy lives. He dies in the next one because he pulls the string and the shotgun blast shoots him in the face or something.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, let's not forget the part in the school after they save, or the abusive husband and wife, when they're they're inspecting the bow gun, and it shoots one of the arrows and kills one of the cops.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't even set up as a trap. It just like this one just didn't go off or something.
I don't know if it counts as a trap or a puzzle or whatever, but the Donnie Wahlberg getting his head just completely destroyed by 2 ice cubes was pretty spectacular. So
yeah, that
was good too.
Best movie after the first. I was gonna say the first one because there is no better movie, the good movie after that.
They're all bad.
I'll just go Saw 3. I think I like seeing the doctor cut his head open.
I think 6. I think probably 6.
I just go 5. 5 is the one that the 5 characters thing. But I did 3 with the doctor.
6 has at least has this non-muddled thing it's got going with the insurance and stuff, and it had some fun kills in it.
Also, Hoffman kills the fucking mortician, and
Hoffman's okay. It's fun to watch him be a bad guy, I guess.
He's too bad. He's beyond. He's too bad.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, Jigsaw found out. How did he find out that Hoffman did this thing? He's like, you tried to imitate me. Now why don't you work with me for real? Whatever.
I'm not gonna rank these, by the way.
Yeah, she's like, what do you think on the less righteous killings in the later episodes? Yeah, we answered that.
None of them are righteous. That's my hot take for you.
Even the beginning and everything.
I don't think any of them are. I think the whole thing is hollow and bullshit. Clearly, I'm way more cynical by the end of this than I was in the beginning.
Okay, so Doc O'Malley 98 said, this may sound weird, but having never really sat down and watched any of the Saw movies, what would be some tips before watching them or things I should know?
My tip would be don't watch them.
Yeah.
For real, I really don't think there's a reason to watch these unless it's academic. If you wanted...
Or morbid curiosity. That for me, I thought I was going to enjoy these. I thought they're really popular.
In that case, just listen to a podcast like you're doing already. Or, catch one of these YouTube videos that summarizes them, or here's all the kills. You can watch them in sequence, I think unless you quite cynically, in a shallow way, want to make a movie like this because they make money. If you wanted to study this formula so you can go off to Hollywood and be a hollow, I know how to make bullshit like this, that would be an academic thing. Or if you want to kind of in an academic way, why do people like these, or what does it say about that, or whatever the fuck. But I don't know, if you get pure entertainment out of this, I'm
not going to go that far. I'm going to say these could be fun to watch as a drinking game. Like I said, there are so many tropes that can
drink every time the SWAT people or drink every time the
if you can have a sense of humor about it. The movies don't have a sense of humor about themselves, but if you can go into a sense of humor, you can at least maybe get something out of it. But taken as a whole as serious horror movies, again, these people made The Conjuring, they made Insidious. Those movies are 100% serious, take themselves serious, and aren't nearly as silly as these. These are college film students half time are in charge of some of this plot, and I don't know how they made this much money. I mean, I guess I know how, but they're not up to the level of actual release into wide theaters, thousands of screens every Halloween for 7 years. I had no idea they were so poorly made. Because The Conjuring's a real movie, Insidious is a real movie. These feel like student films that were just really well done for students.
Yeah, it's a good racket.
Yeah. I think I wrote that review to you in the beginning was bad editing, bad cinematography, bad acting, bad writing, but a great idea that almost hit some of the marks.
I'd like to actually find that because I think you very succinctly, that was really, it's almost here.
And then the other question is, how much do you hate Saw 4? You heard us. It's the one that has the stupidest, those transitions, the weird screen wipes. The characters don't fucking matter. It's super, super convoluted with the 4 walls build a home. And Gideon was the name of his unborn son. That's where it all takes place. And it's just so, ugh. Do you need me to find it?
No, I got it. Okay. Here we go. Saw. So Kyle texted me this, I don't know, while we were both in the middle of watching these. Saw. Bad acting, bad editing, bad music, bad stunts, bad sets and locations, great idea and twist, if a little too easy, that I'm sure will wear out its welcome in the sequels. That was because I'd only seen the first one.
I'd only seen one movie, not knowing that literally they would fall. And we say formula, okay, an action movie has a formula, the climaxes and the build-ups and the plateaus and just 3-act structures and things like that. No, this is a formula that says We need to have someone have their head taken off at some, it has to have this recap at the end with this music. We have to have some kind of thing that makes no sense, but maybe finds out in the next movie. It just.
But somebody's gonna say like the same thing with Friday the 13th movies. It's the same thing with Survivor Girl.
But I think that's the thing is like every movie you make, someone brings something new to it or takes the.
But they're having fun.
Yeah,
those movies are fun.
Like at one point in Nightmare on Elm Street, you have people who fight back. They're the Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
You don't just do the same thing literally 7 times in a row.
Okay,
Don't put me in a saw trap. I don't want to do it. I'd just be like, just give me the shotgun and blow my face off, please. Which one of those traps could you endure and survive in?
That's a good question.
Like, which one do you think that you could like? I could
like after
deal with that.
Out of all of them, which one would you choose? I don't know. Eve, does that include all the ones that are like elaborate? You had to do it with the 5 other people things, or just the ones where you?
I don't know. Which one do you think if you got put in, you like? That's actually because some of them were he didn't have to even do anything. He was live. Like,
I would just do one of the ones that was simple. Like I'll do the one where the first one. Just you gotta cut your foot off. And that's it. Not like, you got to do this shit in 30 seconds. Plus, there's this thing, and there's music blaring, and there's also a torch up your ass. Like, that's, like, I can't. That's too much.
I imagine the reverse bear trap would, like, if and when it goes off. Because it goes off on Jill, and her head gets destroyed. Like,
I mean, actually, she makes it out okay because everybody else has to physically hurt themselves.
Yeah.
She just has to kill somebody she already thinks is dead. She actually got out of it a lot easier.
Right, or Amanda. I'm just saying, if the bear trap goes off, I think it'd go off so fast that you wouldn't even feel it.
Oh, so you're just going for death anyway.
So I'm saying, if I was to die, the death wouldn't be so bad. And 2, I'll fucking kill a guy to get a key. I mean, I'll do that.
I don't want, like, facial mutilation. I don't want my eyes to be gone. I don't want these injuries that look like you can't actually survive them.
Right.
I'll gladly take off one of my appendages not gladly, but.
Or, like, chop off your own arm and put it on the
sure. One of those that's just look, I'm going to make it real simple for you. You chop your hand off and you get out. Just chop your hand off and you get out. And you go, that's it? No tricks?
Yeah. That's the thing is I don't trust you.
Try chop my hand off? Okay. Can you at least, like, are there some bandages somewhere, like, something that I can, use right? Is there a tourniquet? Some of them actually that you did. They had, like, a little tourniquet that they could use.
I don't think I could do the fucking hooks in my chest.
No, that one's
and pull
bad.
myself up. That would hurt.
Too complicated. It's just put the thing, then you gotta climb the thing, and then you gotta, hope it doesn't fall, and, too much.
I would just stand on the hooks and pierce my foot or something like that, and then just stand on one of them and ride it up. Just like, not on my chest, but standing on the hook. Well, I'll pierce my foot, and then I'll ride the chains up,
Yeah.
Are you allowed to outsmart or, like, break the rules with Jigsaw? Like,
you are, I guess, if you're Hoffman, right? Like... Or if you're Strom.
Because, yeah, I mean, the tracheotomy thing, like, was that allowed? Are you just allowed to... Because
that wasn't really a game.
Right.
It was just, I'm trying to kill you.
I don't... Or even the guy that had, like, all the chains with the rings in his skin. It's just, like, pull and rip the skin. I'm like, I'll rip 6... I'll pull it out of my arm, and ribs. Like, it's going to hurt, but I could do that. It's not going to leave me disfigured. I'm just going to have to get these sewn up afterwards.
It just kind of reminds me of the Metabarons.
I was thinking a lot about the Metabarons while watching these things because I'm like, these are...
It's kind of the same thing.
I kept thinking about getting your feet crushed and then, like, take the pain,
Yeah. You're supposed to go through mutilate yourself in some way and it makes you stronger.
Doesn't matter. Once they crush your feet, they'll just give you space boots.
Then you get space boots. That's it. You get space feet. Robot feet.
All right. I think we're past 4 hours. 229 minutes. The final running time will be shorter than that because it'll crunch down a little bit, but we have been recording for at least 229 minutes.
Yeah.
240 minutes be 4 hours.
So do you think we'll watch the new one?
Yeah, I'll probably watch. At this point, again, I say morbid curiosity. It's just, I just need to know what happens in this new one. I guess I could read a plot synopsis, but it's not the same thing.
It's kind of just another one of those things, like when you invest this much time out of it, like...
If they make another Hellraiser, I'm going to go watch it, even if it's bad, Yeah.
Okay. So maybe a video review?
Maybe we'll sit down and do like an hour discussion on that if I can find time. It's right around Halloween. It's going to be busy with kids and stuff, so.
All right. I am tired and hungry. And all done talking about Saw. Saw you later.
I was going to say.
Saw franchise.
Are we going to like sign off with one last pun or wordplay? Can I read a really stupid woodworking joke? You probably saw it.
No.
If we're talking about saws. And we could have done puzzle jokes, but I couldn't find any. I just like type into Google puzzle puns, and it's terrible.
You got to find the corner pieces first.
Yeah. Where is this tweet from a couple days ago? Wanna write, say this so far, I probably passed it, and I'm not gonna be able to find it, and oh, this sucks. Where is that tweet? It's a woodworking joke.
I'm so excited for this woodworking joke.
Okay.
It hasn't been built up that much
It
at
says, all my miter problems occur when I try to cut corners. If you know what a miter saw is, you would know why that joke's funny.
I just thought cut corners was funny because you're cutting corners.
Yeah. Okay.
On that note,
If anyone's still listening, thank you. Join our Patreon.
please.
And listen to it on YouTube. I don't know if there's going to be an MP3 of this. It's too late now for me to tell you that because this is so long. I don't know how I'm going to get it up on the internet. Probably just going to be YouTube only. I don't know. We'll see.
Want to play a game?
No, I don't want to play a game. Actually, I do want to play a game. I want to play some more Batman. All right. Good night.
Good night, everybody.